Well, this is all going rather well. Do you know I wasn't even going to do a live? What I wanted to do was just upload this video, but it was too long. I spoke for too long, guys. So I thought, Jan, just do it like this. As you can see, I'm an absolute numpty when it comes to computers, although I've been working with them for way too many years to admit. Anyway, so it's just a short sort of well, it started off short and I just carried on rambling forever like I tend to do. So now I'm going to play you this. I guess I should have put this on before I pressed for the video to go, but hey ho, here we go. Ooh, what's that on there? Anyway, doesn't really go, does it, Aska? Aska is here. She's decided that she's going to pester me now because I've sat down at the computer about to say hi. I haven't seen you all week. What have I been doing? I have been so busy, guys. Anyway, here we go. Here she is. There's my little one who causes trouble all the time. My son brought his girlfriend over, was it yesterday, to trim her nails for me because I can't do them and I don't really want to have to pay like 70 quid at the vet just to get her paws done. So I said to him, oh, can you bring soap? Because she she's into animals and everything. She always sort of looks after Aska. Anyway, so Sophie came over to trim Aska's Why do I waffle like that? Hey, can you see yourself in there? Look how red her eyes have gone. Look. Hey, there she is. Isn't she? Oh, that's a sad, angry face she's got on her. She's never far away from me, guys. Anyway, so she was a naughty girl, basically, and was fighting Sophie so that she, didn't get her tails done. And yeah, I think she might have got a couple done, but no. So her nails, not her did I say tails? This is all going really well. Maybe we should start this again. It's not going very well. I had an idea. She is, isn't she? She's an absolute darling. I thought, go on and say hi to the 4 people that bother responding. I thought, I'll do that. So a very busy week. I've got my 2 art shops now open. So I'm trying to stock more and more designs in there. I love doing it. It doesn't really feel like a job. It's all the bits and bobbies you have to do, though. There's so many sort of bits and bobbies. What are you doing? Hey, Hey, she's not really. You know what's funny with her? You can't go there because you'll land on the. Right, go there then. There we are. Right, she's it's never far away from me. Anyway, so I've got my two stores up, and so of course I'm trying to sort of have like a spring clean and get rid of, some of the designs that have been there for some time, and to sort of, just add new designs in there. God, this is so thrilling. This is so thrilling. I bet you're so pleased you clicked on this video, aren't you? Lordy, Miss Claudie. And the thing is, I had so much that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, it's like when I get there, what have you seen out there, Aska? She's looking out the window. Um, so, as usual, once I press the button, the brain goes, and then I've got nothing to say, absolutely nothing to say, and yet there was so much that I wanted to talk about. It's so nice. This weekend, I want to say, well, I have been busy. My busy has been sitting at my Mac watching my favorite aviation channel, live streaming from LAX airport. I've done that for 2 days. Um, Now, normally, what I do is I do some work while I'm watching videos, but it's difficult when you're sort of watching a live stream and you're sort of, typing in there and everything. It's difficult then to be multitasking. So I just didn't multitask. I just spent the whole time writing in the channel. We've got such a lovely community in there, and yeah, we all sort of get to know, it's a real community. There's no arguing. Um, not even with me, which is, quite unusual. Anyway, so when our guy finished the live stream tonight, because he's flying back to Heathrow tonight, when he finished it, he called out this other channel. Who sort of helped him while he was over in LA. And so a lot of us went over there. What an unfriendly bunch they were. And you know what? I had to be really careful because they triggered me to be, they triggered me to like start giggling like an idiot, giggling like a girly. And also they triggered me to sort of just troll them a little bit. Couldn't help it. So because I have to say, uh, now, okay, my aviation video, my aviation channel called Big Jet TV is very earthy. It's very British. There's no sort of all singing and dancing and whistles and all this and everything in there. It's just our mate Jerry, who we all love. He's a fool. He's a bit like me. I shouldn't call him a fool. That's not very nice, is it? He's not a fool, but he does silly things, and we all sort of laugh about him. And quite often, when he goes on, like on these foreign trips, he takes us in the car with him. And so today we were walking along the streets in LA looking for the airport. Hi, Edna. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but this went on for like 19 minutes, and I tried to upload it to StreamYard as a video and just put it out as a video, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I thought, oh, for goodness sake, just put it on the live one, and if people come in, they come in, and if they don't, then they don't. Um, and it's just lovely to see a couple of you in. That's great. I love it. It's hard sort of recharging your YouTube channel. It's, I guess I've been somewhat cancelled in certain communities, which is hilarious for me. But it really doesn't bother me because it enables me to have a following of people that like me and not just, you know, eh, who I'm following and, you know, it's nice for me. I enjoy it, and although I know I only get a few views and everything, it's fine for me because I'm, as you all know, I'm an artist and, um I wanted to bring more of my artwork onto my channel. So because these other people have got me on some sort of blacklist, it could have something to do with the fact that I barred them all as well. um, so they can't sort of come over. Um, and you know what? It's bliss for me. It's really lovely. What happened? Okay, nothing in particular happened, but I enjoy going into live streams sometimes. Uh, in a part of the internet that isn't very friendly, put it that way. I mean, you all know who I'm talking about. Um, and so oh, that's so lovely. That's so lovely, Grateful Life. Do you know, can you believe it? Since I've been on YouTube, I have been cancelled not once, but twice. Twice, guys, and all because I've got I've gone into these communities. Now, take it from me, I don't join communities, I don't like gangs, I know Yeah. I know, I'm a troublemaker. Um, I don't like gangs. I never have done, and I never will do. I'm very much a very independent person. I do my own thing. I say my own thing, and sometimes I get myself into trouble because people take offense to it. What, Asker Lily? What's the matter, baby? People take offense to it, and then they do what the internet does best, which is just slag me off on in all in all areas, and try to tar me with this brush or tar me with that brush. So uh, what it's all rather amusing, really, and I do see the funny side of it. I know some people think, "Oh, no, she doesn't. She probably hates that nobody wants to talk to her." No, because I know that the people that do talk to me because they like me, not because I follow this one or I follow that one or I do this and I do that. Um, I can't. I'm too old in the tooth for that, guys. And it's almost like, um, it's like being in like these gangs at school. And I'll be honest with you, I never used to join in gangs at school. I always used to do my own thing, and I used to get into trouble on my own and have to deal with it on my own, and that's perfectly fine. And um, it's just such a ridiculous situation. Plus, the people left are the most beautiful souls. Do you know what, Edna? That's it. That's it. And it is difficult to find people with a beautiful soul because people seem to have this online persona and it seems to be very different to their real persona, and I don't understand that. I'm always me, and you know, I suppose I'm a bit like Marmite. Either you love me or you hate me, and I'm fine with that. You know, it doesn't bother me. I stay in my own lane. I like to stay in my own lane. I've had, what's the word? Couplings, um, with other people. And because of internet drama, they're no longer talking to me, or I'm not talking to them, and it's just beyond juvenile. That's the only thing I can call it. It's absolutely juvenile. And I'm too old for that. I can't, I do my own thing both on and offline. And if people don't like it, it's just tough titties, really. I go into so many different live streams. Um, I don't spend my whole existence online in live streams, which seems, a lot of people do that. And, everybody lives a different life, don't they? And we have to sort of understand that and respect that. But for me, there's no respect online, and I laugh about it because it just amazes me. Um, there's been situations where I followed someone, um, or because I thought they were some kind of person, and then it's turned out that they're not. So I very sort of very what's the word, surreptitiously moved away because one, I don't want to be tarred in that with the same brush as them, and two, because at the end of the day, the internet should be a place of fun and somewhere where you can go and enjoy it. And I don't want to be going into places where, I'm getting wound up because they're talking a whole load of rubbish. Um, so yeah. So I just sort of stay in my own lane, and I quite enjoy putting up these little short videos. Um and people have said that they enjoy it. Yeah, thank you, Grateful Life. I just wish, there's so much for us to worry about, and there's so many awful things that go on in the world. There really are. Why would you want to come online and just be hateful to everybody? I don't get it, guys, and I won't get it. I won't, be dragged into that. I have allowed myself in certain instances to go down that road, but I won't do it anymore. No, I'd be me, and me is like a bit of an idiot, somebody who laughs too much, somebody who laughs too loud. But I never mean harm on anyone. Um, do I mind sharing a link? What do you want to come up? Yeah, you can come up, sweetheart. Hang on, oh, do you know I haven't done this for so long? How do I do this now? Right. Yeah, do you want to come up to panel, Edna? We can have a chin wag if you like. Um, what did you mean by do you mind sharing a link to panel? You can come up, darling. Let me just do this then. Copy, paste. I haven't done this for so long. Forgotten what I'm doing. There we go. Click on there and you can come on up. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to stick this on because I blooming taped all this, guys. It's true. Anyway, hope you found that funny because I did. Anyway, so, and we're all in the chat. Now, let me tell you something. In the aviation, in that community, and there's up to 5,000 in a live stream, so it's a big community. Um, but usually we always keep it to aviation, yeah, because it's an aviation channel, so we all keep it to that. But when something happens and Jerry sort of goes off somewhere, say he might sort of go down to get, you know, something to eat, you know, we all start acting like kids in there, and it's like, oh, Dad, can you get us a milkshake? We're so childish. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I love all that. I love it. So, like, you know, we're all sort of. Anyway, so he took us on a road trip today, which was funny. And then he parks up in this car park in LA that really did look a bit dodge. So we're all like, oh, Dad, are you sure that that you should leave us, you know, you should leave the van here because we're not really very. That's what we're like. We're all adults. Do you know what I mean? We don't, and what I really love is that I've never been in there where somebody's come in and been horrible. You know, someone's come in and what's the word? Troll. Hi, Edna. Right, I'm going to let you in, Edna. Oh, how lovely that you wanted to come in. Hey, honey.
Hello. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I have a headache though. So I'm excited about what you're talking about, but I can't type right now.
That's all right. I've got a headache too, funnily enough. I think it's because um because of what
Time
happened on
change?
the live stream. Okay,
Oh,
are we echoing or do I have to do anything here? Or are we okay? It's lovely of you to come up. Shall we play a
thank you.
bit more of what I did?
Go right ahead. Yeah, I was just gonna share. I was watching a little bit of I'm a lurker. I
Okay.
was lurking with House of Hannibal because I used to watch him a lot and really be active, but it was something that kind of turned me off.
Okay.
And, I have some theories. I don't wanna get into I'm not trying to start any drama, but what specifically kind of rubbed me the wrong way today was the way that he was just bringing SGM down for simply sharing his life on the internet. And
Okay.
I'm I'm 35, so I remember a time before the internet, but it's here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I I think, the talk about these issues, like all of us going through this pandemic, it's still, unpacking everything, our childhood traumas that don't get unpacked, the medical field that needs so much work to properly help people.
Mhm.
All of this is happening, and you want to take away an outlet like the internet for people to connect and to share their struggles with each other? Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Like I'm sorry. You need to you know what I mean? Like, that kind of voice should not be amplified.
You know, I don't watch them. Monty and what is it? Hannibal and Monty, is it?
No, this is not Hannibal and Monty, this is House of Hannibal.
Oh, okay. I don't watch them. Are they a big
Oh.
channel?
That's relative. So I'm not trying to throw shade or anything, but like he's very talented. Like I don't really know like YouTube stats to say if he's big or not. I think he's not as big as like Monty with like 10K, but I don't really watch the views to know, to be honest.
Hmm. I know. I mean, it.
Or 8. I don't know what Monty's numbers are. I don't know. Like, I don't really watch the numbers.
No, it. I just think so. I think what you're saying is it's quite sort of upsetting when you feel that you like that community, and then you gradually realize or recognize things that you don't really like. And
Yes,
is that what you're saying? Because I do understand that.
absolutely. Yes. And okay, so I'm dealing with a lot personally, and um and I understand the importance of like not dumping and not
Yeah.
um like respectfully, like compassionately sharing and all that kind of stuff. So I understand that everything that SGM is doing and and that whole kind of part of girl world and the way it unfolds is not healthy. I'm not saying that it should go unchecked and all of that, but to say that he's a cow and that just the framing of people as cows and like as
Mm,
something to tear down or to talk about to make fun of in this way, I don't like it.
yeah, I know. I feel the same way, and I think it's quite sad because, as I was saying earlier, I'm in another community, um, as well. Well, I don't think I'm in any community as far as
Oh,
local
you're in the
locales
communities,
go.
Jan.
Sorry?
You're in the communities.
Well,
I don't know all the lore, but when you were talking to Chef and you dropped that bomb about Erie, that was a bomb to me.
oh my God, yes. Yes. And one thing you'll learn about me as well is I don't lie. I always tell the truth. I'm just that kind of person.
Yes, I
And
can see that. Yeah.
yeah, and the thing is, when I come up upon people or come up across people who who don't like me for any reason, um, and they know that I will speak the truth, they're the ones that stir up all the rumors and, oh, Jan's
Right.
this and Jan's that and this that. Um, but I know that, what is it? Eerie pepperoni, slash champagne taste slash karma
Oh.
is a hateful individual. She's awful. Now,
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that if I didn't know her. If
And
I
listen,
wouldn't
I can't say
say
that.
that.
I don't know her. I haven't seen that, right?
Well,
I've
I mean,
only
I
seen the talented Erie Pepperoni, but
mm,
I've seen enough and I've been in the Discord and I know how different people move. Like I said, I'm a lurker. I've learned a
mm,
lot about, in my 35 years, I've learned a lot about myself and that being able to relate and know about other people, right? So
mhm,
you don't have to know someone's full history to understand they're not somebody that you want to be in connection with in whatever
yeah.
respect, you know?
Well, I told you what my, doctors did to me, and she is definitely one of them. She was definitely very instrumental in, what they did to me,
And
and,
that's terrifying
there's
to think about.
mm, and there's
You
proof
know?
out
Yeah.
there. But the thing is, if she was to hear me talking about it now, she'd be like, "Oh my God, that happened 2 years ago. Why is she going on about that now?" Do you know what I mean? And
Right. For
the
her,
thing
it
is,
didn't mean anything. It moves so quickly. Everybody wants something within the same day
mhm,
sometimes. You don't even get a chance for the day to end before, there's something else going on, right? But for you,
exactly.
that's your entire life. Your children, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, my
and
children
not
and my grandchildren,
and what she
and
shared about her fertility, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine that she would feel any differently about her kids. So to not be able to put yourself in that space to treat another person like that, that's wild to me.
I know it's insane,
Over
isn't it?
YouTube.
And the
Yes.
thing is, if you go on Twitter and you put in hashtag ban Jan, you'll see it's still there. It's like, everything people say, the internet is forever.
You
And
know
it
what, to be
is
honest, I
there.
couldn't do Twitter. It's what like
Oh,
there was
right. So
someone
you're
in
not
my
on
in
Twitter.
I am, but I'm not active at all. I was
Yeah.
there was for me there was someone in my city who had posted like a kind of alluding to wanting to, things to just be done, unalive themselves.
Hmm.
And I just it's toxic. You know what I mean? Like we can't just have that kind of stuff just go unchecked. I'm sorry, as an adult, I'm like, that is outrageous. And
Mm,
that's not okay. It's like we're living in math hysteria, and people think it's normal.
Exactly. That yeah, thank you, Grateful Life. Yeah, it was. And the thing is, because I'm the way I am, it wouldn't have upset me if they hadn't included my family.
Mhm.
Somebody went through all of my family's Facebook
Facebook.
and compiled a video threatening them, saying if Jan doesn't shut her mouth, this is what's going to happen to her kids. And they
And
used my
people
kids'
really do
names.
think that's
They
the
used
people are
my
really
kids.
unhinged. Yes,
Yeah,
this is scary stuff. And you
but
can't just walk away and not address that kind of stuff. It just doesn't go away,
I will always address it. I will always,
right? And you
always
have every
address
right
it
to.
because of what they did to me and my family. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can roll with the punches, you know, but don't you bring my kids into it. They don't have an online presence. They have their Facebook. That's it. They don't do Twitter. They don't do YouTube. They don't do Instagram. All they have is Facebook. And for them to find out who I was and who my kids were, and then to make comments about them, like, oh, she obviously favors one child over another child. And, it was just unbelievable,
Right.
absolutely awful what they did. And now they, 2 years down the road, probably 3 years maybe now. Um, um, Now to sort of be on uh, their YouTube channels, and as if nothing happened, as if they were never that hateful, they were never that mean, it is a strong pill for me to swallow. That is more difficult for me than anything else, because they
Mhm.
were my kids, you know,
Right.
and somebody put together a video
I
with
think
them
maybe
in it.
what it is like no, but and without having that information, you think you have one perception of her, right? Not
Mhm.
realizing that, oh, she has the capacity to do X, Y, and Z. And I guess we all do, but just to know that it's out there and it hasn't been addressed, that's the part that's like, because for me, like this is YouTube. I'm just the spectator, I'm just enjoying,
Yeah,
and kind of learning from everything, right? But what I'm
yeah.
thinking is like, how do I take this and apply it to my personal life with relationships that I don't even know how to go about rebuilding bridges, you know, and having the space to the grace for myself and for those other members to extend those olive branches or to, I don't even know, to be honest, because it's so sad, and that's not, I'm not saying that for you because that's a totally different situation, but that's just where I'm coming from as a viewer, where I'm like, we, yes, we're seeing this play out on YouTube between creators, but this happens in the real life offline between coworkers, between people, when they go to buy something at the like food to
Mhm.
pick up, pick it up, whatever. Like in my city, I saw someone get shot outside my window. You don't have to, like I literally did not have to leave my apartment. It's really unnerving, and all the stories that you hear about people that are just on the edge.
Mm. I
And
mean,
this
to
is
be
what,
honest, if
yeah,
I was in America, when that happened, I would have taken them to task legally over it, because it was all out there. But I think, it's not even as if it's the thing in the middle, that, the major thing that is the problem as well. It's all the ripples. It's all the ripples from
right,
that, and all the other people that you thought were your friends, were your internet
right.
friends.
Because everybody falls in
They
line.
they
They
get
don't wanna
washed
be out.
away with the
Yeah.
ripples, and they don't come towards you. They don't come to you and say, "Listen, this is really bad. They should never have done that." They don't come to you and say that. What they do
Terrified.
is they allow themselves to be washed away on the
Yeah.
ripple. Do you see what I
I mean,
mean?
yes, it's terrifying, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like emotional exile, or not emotional, it's social exile, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be on the out. And it's
Yeah,
just,
and you
it's
know
kind of,
why?
yeah.
I think it's based in fear. And I
Hmm.
think the people that saw what happened to me, were too scared, plain and simple.
Right.
They were too scared of the same thing happening to them. And I saw that group of people go after other creators. They ran creators offline
I've heard.
because they were so scared of what they were gonna do to them.
Well,
Because
they ran me out before I even started. So I
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Well,
I,
you're always welcome here, honey. I don't
well,
care where I see you. I don't care whose chats you're in. I don't care. I feel as if I'm getting to know you as a person, and that's good enough for me.
like, you know what's funny? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I was so heated over some whatever drama that was happening over in chat that I was messaging Monty. I
Yeah,
say Monty like timber. And I was messaging Monty, and I was like, I feel like Jan's views right now. Like I said, Edna's views, because I understand the passion that you have. Like when like I think we all get to that point, right? But it's just
yeah,
I think we have to, like, at least for me, what I'm learning is that I have to take a step back and
mhm,
and reel myself in a little bit and kind of process those emotions. Because it's not that the emotions aren't valid, but it's like you can't just be out in the world unchecked, unregulated. And that's the
no,
issue. It's like we have too many people that are not regulating themselves, and they think just because they're adults that they don't have to until somebody makes them, uh,
mm,
i.e., starting a lawsuit or something. And I think that's way too far. And I'm not saying that just because you think the law should be involved that that's too far. It's just the fact that as adults, we should be rational, we should be sane enough, healthy enough in our minds to amicably communicate. It shouldn't have to get
yeah.
to that point.
I know, it's mad. It's just absolute madness. And I mean, another person that was very involved in it was, and she keeps turning up in people's chats that I'm in sometimes, is Fedora Chick. Don't be fooled by the batty old woman facade she puts on.
Oh,
She
well, we
is
learned
another
with
evil one.
Troll Detective about that, didn't we?
Oh
That
my
was kinda
God.
interesting, wasn't it? I
She's
I don't know, I don't know that person.
who, Fedora Chick? Oh,
Right,
you'll
Fedora chick.
probably come across her eventually. Um, But I mean, I go in so many different people. I
Oh.
mean, I went into Alex's chat. Alex, irate
Oh,
Alex.
Alice is shook. Oh,
No, irate
okay,
Alex,
no.
who
You know
don't
what?
ever.
Is that more drama community?
Yeah, but and
Okay,
he's a disgusting person. He really is,
okay.
and he's full of angst and anger,
Listen,
and
Jan,
sometimes
this
I
is the most
know,
toxic part of the internet I've ever been on.
I
I'm used to
know,
being chilling with Amber Lynn and what's her name? Oh, Kicking Geese. She is so kind and reacting compared to everybody over here. I was shook, Jan. Shook.
yeah. See,
So when you talk about the drama people, I have no, like, I really can't, because that would be
I,
way
I
too much for me.
I was in the drama community. That was when I was doxxed, and
Okay.
I came out of there quite happily. Um,
Right.
just like, no, I can't. It was too sort of
Are they on
distressing.
TikTok as
And
well?
sorry,
Are they on TikTok as well?
Oh, I don't know. I don't dig
Okay.
that deep into them. If I find that I'm in too much of a toxic place, I
Mhm.
come out of it. I just don't wanna
Right,
know, because I live quite a sort of happy existence. My
right.
family have been through a lot, especially over the
Mhm.
past 6, 7, 8 years. We've had 2 members of the family have been stricken with cancer, and so
Oh, I'm
they both
sorry.
had their battles with
Mhm.
cancer, and, so, we've had a great deal of sadness in the family and, with lots of different
So
things.
how are
So,
you processing that sadness, that grief?
how do you sorry?
How are you because one thing I'm learning is that we have all these emotions. We're emotional beings. I think I'm particularly super emotional or super sensitive, but we won't get into, those specifics. But it's just as human beings, we need to have healthy ways to process our emotions. And I just think as a society in general, I don't it doesn't seem like we do that enough.
I like to think that I like to think that the internet, particularly that sort of toxic portion of the internet, is just a micro community, and that the real world
So like
isn't
is it
toxic.
microcosm? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
trying to say, and that the real world isn't as toxic. It isn't for me. Maybe it is for
Yes,
other
I agree.
people,
It
but
can
I
be,
think
but you're right. It's not everybody. It's not everything.
no. And, I live over here, I've got all my family, I've had 4 kids, and they're all within an hour of me, 45 minutes of me, every single one of my kids. And
Okay.
so I'm very lucky in that way. I'm an empty nester now, and I absolutely love it.
Okay. So what
And
I'm hearing is that the family is able to like stick together and kind of like hold each other together by being in close proximity enough to still be there with each other.
yes. And,
Okay.
we have our falling out. I have to say, family is very important to me because I didn't have one growing up.
Okay.
Um, I was brought up in a children's home and
Right.
had no blood family. Um, so family, I've always looked at it that family to me is the family I've created. And the
Right.
family and it was very important for me to create a family, uh, full of love and
Mhm.
laughter and music and creativity, and I think to a certain extent, I've managed to do that, and
Nice. That's wonderful.
I'm not patting myself on the back, jeez.
No, you
Um,
good. No, see, stop. I'm gonna pat you on the back because honestly, we don't do that enough. Because if that's what you set out and that's what you have, that's all. That's it.
well, I had to. I
Yeah, we
had
have all
to.
these expectations on ourselves from wherever, and it's like it doesn't take all of that. It's like, what do you want? Because I don't like I said at this point in my life, I've gotten to the point in my career, I've gotten to the point in my personal life and whatever where I'm like, "Oh, this is it.
You
Oh,
should
this."
never think
Yeah,
like that, especially not at 35. You should
but that's
never
what I'm
think like that.
but that's what I'm saying. Now I understand where I was quote unquote going wrong, and now I know where I want to go right. Like I have a point of like a jumping off point.
If I was to tell you my life story, you would be you would be horrified. Um, but what I will say is I never really had, uh, a dream of anything. I sort of muddled through my early, my 20s and my 30s, where I
Mhm.
had most of my children. I had 3 of them. So at that time, my life was very much about bringing the children up. Um,
Right.
because of my upbringing, I instilled in them the important things that I felt were important, which was to never be rude when they were at school, never be rude to your teacher. If you have a problem
Mhm.
with your teacher, then you come and tell me about it. I'll go and be rude. I'll go and be rude to them.
It sounds like you really value education. Like knowledge is important to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I worked in
Mhm.
schools for 8 years.
That was the same with my mom and my father as well. You know, like just yeah. Mhm.
I think when I worked in schools, what I discovered was um, so many children are absolutely starving of any form of direction, ambition, good family values. And
You know
I
what,
hated it.
Jan?
I hated
I
that.
the
And I
thing is,
remember
I'm
I
sorry. Go
used to
ahead.
teach like small groups of children
Mhm.
and who I think in America they call it remedial class or something. I used to work with children who were, um, how can I put it,
I think I know
struggling.
what you're saying. And it's
Yeah.
so ridiculous because I think we have it so backwards. Have you heard of a doctor called what is his name? Garbo Mate is Gabor Mat. I think it might be accent Grave.
No, I haven't.
He has a wonderful like I haven't even read his book because I'm still wrapping my mind around everything just because of my own personal block. But
That's
he
true,
talks about
Sasha. Sorry. That's true.
oh yes, yes. And hi Sasha, sorry. I'm so engrossed. I'm so sorry.
No,
Because
go
like
go go ahead. Do you know what I will say about you? What I like, I'm almost twice your age. I've got children that are older than you. What I like about you is your want for education and your need to understand more of the world. And that
yes.
that is wonderful because there's so many people that don't have that. There's so many people
And
that
they're out here bumping around like
yeah.
dodo heads. And it's like the information is here. All you have to do is learn it. And the thing is with these new AI tools and technologies coming about, we
Mhm.
have the opportunity to learn, like to catch up. I feel like somebody like me has the opportunity to catch up with in so many different ways that it blows my mind. So I'm just really excited about it.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And please don't think I'm being patronizing because I'm not.
Oh, not at all. I hear you,
This is the
Jan. Yeah.
real me. This is the
Mhm.
real me. Yeah, I do. I love to sing and dance, and I love to laugh, um, and that's why I like to sort of do the shorts because um,
I love your
that
art. Like everything is
that's
so wonderful.
me.
Yeah.
But it's so important that people open their minds and don't just digest, don't keep taking great gulps of the negativity in the world because that will just turn you into a negative person. You know, I feel
Yes.
as if it took me a long time to um, really recognize what the world had to offer me. And that was because of certain circumstances that I was in. I was a mother, I was a young mother. So for so many years, my life revolved around my children. And then I got to a stage where, I mean, it's only sort of fairly recently that I've actually been able to embrace who I really am because and that's not just a mother, and that's not just a grandmother, but that's
Right.
been really hard, you know? I've had to go
Mhm.
to, so much counselling and therapy because my life was
Man,
too much.
therapy,
Yeah,
ma'am. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't know what to think about
yeah,
therapy at this moment, and
because
I know
my
you have a
life was
history.
so
I
much en en engulfed
I
by
hear you, but
my
the thing
maternalism, and I struggle with that. I really
okay,
struggle with
so
it.
okay, I understand that, and I know know you struggle and you wanna get help, and we have mental health professionals that are supposed to help us with these types of issues, right? But
Yeah,
I feel like there's a disconnect where I am a grown adult woman. I am coming to you for assistance. I'm not offering you my autonomy of my mental health in this manner. You see what I'm saying? And it's like
mhm,
they it's like it's like they wanna take over. They wanna diagnose you. They wanna tell you about yourself.
mhm, yeah.
And you am I saying too much? Do you hear what I'm saying?
You know,
I don't
please
know what to deal with
please
that.
stop please stop apologizing. I think I love listening to you. I love the questions you put out. I love
Mhm.
the way you question things, and I think it's important in this life, and I think we don't question ourselves enough, and we don't question our loved ones enough. Sasha, thank you very much for saying that. Thank you.
Yes.
So don't ever think that, you're rambling or anything like that. I love listening to you,
Well, thank
you
you.
know?
Honestly, Jan, like for my generation, there's so many of us, we don't have the courage to build a family like you have. I'll just say it. I feel like a lot of millennials are just, and maybe even what's the group above me? Gen X? Or no, the
Mhm,
silent generation. I'm not sure all the generations. I just know I'm a millennial.
mhm.
It's like I
I
see so
think I'm
many
a
of us.
boomer, but I'm a
Oh,
proud
okay.
boomer.
I mean, it is what it is. You can't. It's not like you
Listen,
can do anything about it.
I'm just glad I survived, because there were many times when I couldn't have survived. Do you know what I mean? But I've
Yes.
survived. I've kept my family close. I mean, I was going to say we have fallouts. I mean, I'm not going to get into um, great
We know
detail
all
about it,
families have,
but
issues and things, but yeah, it's just the fact that you intentionally thought to create a family. I think people kind of fall into families or I don't know. It's hard to say. It's just that I think a lot of times people have uh children accidentally. And people live with that their whole lives, thinking that they're an accident or that they're not wanted in different capacities. Like I heard a story of a mixed race woman whose mother told her that she was conceived in SA, and that
oh, that's
wasn't the case.
horrible.
That she's having she's getting older. She's dealing with like dementia, things like that. I guess she's wanting to like clear her conscience and she came clean about, everything and she basically shared that she was embarrassed and didn't know how to deal with the pregnancy and the times and all that kind of stuff where this woman is 40 now, so can kind of give you an age range of the mother and stuff, and
Mhm,
it's just one of those things where, okay, I mean, it is what it is, but we still have to process that. These people are like this woman is 40, thinking her whole life and all these interactions, she could be potentially married, have kids, she could have grandkids. And all of those people are dealing with the trauma sourced from her trauma from this late, you know what I mean? And those are the ripples. And so I see what you're saying when you talk about in girl world where you're going through. And I'm just saying, like, this is so important that you talk and you speak up. And that's why I'm like, yes, I want to support you because I see it in real life across social media.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, I think it happens outside, but that's why, in the real world. But I've been very careful with who I have as friends in the real world because I find it easier to walk away from people um, in the real world. And I think that's just because of who I am. Um, if somebody, listen, a while ago, years ago now, I had this best friend who she was a Jamaican girl, and we had so much in common. My ancestors, my father was Jamaican,
Okay.
and we had so much in common. We went to carnival together. She was like my sister,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
And if I ever had problems, I would always call on her. She was always there for me. We had a sister relationship.
Mhm.
And it's gonna sound so petty now, but uh, I found out that she was talking badly about me to some of her other friends. And I couldn't handle it. I was like, I had it out with her, and I said, "Listen, that really hurts, you know." And she came up with
Of
all these
course.
excuses, and "Oh well, I didn't really mean this, and I wasn't really talking about you, and blah de blah de blah." So I gave her another chance. The
Mhm.
friendship was never the same again, as far as I was concerned, but we carried on for a
Right.
few more years. And then she did the same thing again, and I just had to
I
cut
was
her off. I just cut
I
her
was
off
just watching the
completely.
video about that, about, like, forgiving this was in the context of a romantic relationship, like, yeah, I'm getting to that age, and I'm thinking I might wanna date, I don't know, but that's another story. But anyway, talking about truly forgiving someone, right? Like, in the example that they were giving where, you have a, traditional, husband and wife and,
Mhm,
you if you're not able to be there for each other, you might forgive, but if you don't really process what happened and come up with like a plan for the next time you come up, with a
mhm.
disagreement. Oh, it was in the context of having a fighting style where we talk about our love languages, but it was Jay Shetty, and I think he was talking about having like a
Oh, I've
fighting
heard of
language.
him. I've heard of
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's the Think Like a Monk guy. He's
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
And yeah, so and I just thought that was really interesting how, like, how to fight properly, like, how to be able to argue and reconcile or, like, come to some kind of moving away point because
yeah.
we don't do that.
Well, I think it depends on the personality, but before I go on, I just want to say, um, yeah, that's true. I think that's true, Sasha. I think I do. My family is so important to me. Um, but as I say, I think it's sort of, how can I put it? I've had therapists that have said to me, um, not in so many words, but they've sort of intimated that I should move away emotionally from my family, which I which I did put into effect actually to a certain degree to what I was
Okay.
comfortable with.
Mhm.
Because I think, the therapist thought it was too damaging for me, especially
Mhm.
when the family members got ill, and it was like the end of my world.
Right.
Um,
And you
so
know what? That's why my relationship with therapy right now is complicated because I'm in the process of finding a good therapist. But I understand how important having that kind of insight is because like you're like yes, the fact that you created this family and everything, but like nothing is forever. Like we have to be able to have enough separation and like we can't be so attached that we lose somebody and we feel like we lose a part of us. That's unhealthy, no matter who they are.
I know, but I never
Yeah.
realised that, you see, and I don't know whether that's because of my upbringing or whether it's because of the type of person I am. Um, but yeah, that's been something that I've really, really struggled with, because I mean, it was my grandfather. Oh, there's just been so much crap,
Yeah.
but,
Well, I've
um
lost my mother. That was my mother was my world, my whole family. And this past December was like the 10-year anniversary. And I feel like this was finally the year that like I had completed the grieving process. And it's but like I kind of laugh at it because I'm like, geez, 10 years? Does it really take that long? And maybe, I wasn't actively trying to, fully process her death or whatever, but it was just at a point I could tell you where I work as a in the tax industry, and I was speaking to someone about taxes, and they wanted to meet, and they picked her birthday, just randomly. And I just
mhm,
remember like I didn't have to comment, I didn't have any like emotional anything about it, like it was fine. And I was like, "Oh,
mhm.
wow." You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm good, you know? And it's not the fact that I don't miss her or, all that kind of stuff that goes with, losing a parent. But it's like, it's not healthy for us to not be able to lose, to move on when people pass on. It's like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but then I think it's part of my mental illness, if you like, and I'm not gonna use that as a reason, for
Well,
it, but I think that
I
is
have
very
another theory about that
instrumental.
too. Well, see, I think we we pathologize, I hope I'm saying that correctly, mental illness, and we get stuck in it. And it's like we never get to mental wellness. The mental health field is all about the illness. And I just think it's the most insane thing to me. Like, I'm like, how are you the doctor and you don't have a path for my wellness?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, and I think there is definitely, um, a good point there, you know? But I do also feel that, being that much older and looking back, um,
Well,
you
hindsight's always
kind of
2020.
I can see changes in my behavior, and I can see, my behavior aligning with what I've been diagnosed with or how I've lived my life. Um,
Right.
I mean,
Oh, I 100% like I get it because not to share too much just because I'm still in the process so it's not anything really to share at this moment, but it's just like I think I understand what you're saying without putting words in your mouth, but it's still the fact that I think we have a manageable component and we have like a physical, like an unmanageable component. There
yeah,
is a component of like our physiology or whatever. Like, I'm um I'll just say I'm a black woman, right? And we like
I guessed by your, picture there,
but like I
which
can
is
take
very
hormones
which is
to
very cute,
transition.
by the way. I love
I
it.
could I could bleach my skin to take out some of the melanin, but my physiology is what it is, right? I get
Mhm.
that with the mental illness. I think we are predispositioned to be in a certain state. I get that. But I think the fact that we diagnose each other with these states and it's like we don't allow each other like to get out of it. It's like Pete with his depression. He is holding on to that depression like you know what I mean? Like it, I don't it's hard to describe. It's like he just wears it like a coat. Pete, take off the coat. You're burning up, man, you know?
See, I can't I think I sort of I don't want to use the term disagree because it sounds too strong, and, it's nice
Well,
to
no,
sort
you
of
can disagree.
de
Please. You
debate
disagree.
things.
Explain.
Um,
Expand, please.
but I think because of what I've done in the
Uh-huh.
past as regards working with students who, have had various mental health issues, I just see him as somebody who is incapable of helping himself, because I think if you have certain, um, characteristics, y y you know, you've got one of the main things, one of the first things you have to do when you go to therapy for a given behavioral issue is to
Mhm.
recognize it in yourself. If you don't recognize it, how can you then sort of make a difference to it? And I don't believe that he fully understands how he should be acting. Yes, he does. He's
You
very
know what?
active.
Jan, yes, 100%. We are not disagreeing. I get you, right? And
Mhm.
it's so simple that it feels patronizing. But I think is you have to eat better. You have to sleep. You have to hydrate yourself. You have to have healthy connection. He's trying with his YouTube channel, but it's toxic. It's warped with the way he thinks of people as just numbers. He can't get healthy connection through people that he doesn't respect and he doesn't see as a healthy connection. And what's something else? Like those are just the main things, right? And and we tell people go for a walk. It's good for your mental health. You won't be so depressed. You won't be so sad. But it's true. Clean yourself. Take a shower. People talk about brush your teeth, take a shower, clean, vacuum. But it's true. You need to live in a clean environment to be healthy.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you. Grateful Life says, but then he needs therapy and the work that goes with it. 100%. He does. And I think the thing that I get from Pete's is that he's got nobody around him who cares enough to steer him in that direction, and I find that sad.
Yeah.
Okay, I know he's a grown man. I know he's coming up to 40, but he's obviously come from a situation or come from a family environment where nobody cares enough to say to him, right, you know, you should be doing this, you should be
Or it's
doing
such
that.
a subtle comment, it's such a you know what I mean? Or they said
Yeah,
it so long that he just dismisses it without thought. Because I can't
yeah,
but I get it because I have someone close to me where I want to scream out, when are we when's an invention? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like and but I'm not gonna say it. At this point, I feel like I'm learning that the best way to help someone is to model that behavior for them. Just be all in their face with the behavior on you that you want to see on them. And if that's not genuine for you, then it's not your business, right? Like you can't really say anything.
mm,
But if
mm,
you're able to do that with somebody, that's really the only way I can see to help them at this point. And you're right. Like he doesn't, as Hannibal, speaking of Hannibal, when he says accountability buddy, which cracks me up. It's like, yes, we all need accountability buddies. And I found those people like in my age group. Like I said, we are going through it, and I found a fellow friend who was going through it at the same time, and we were just able to be friends for each other in the real life,
yeah,
and I mean, and it seems so silly, like, it seems so like, thinking back to the younger me, I would never imagine making friends or, like, one of my best friends not best friends, but, actually, somebody that I connect to, that I feel like I relate to, understands me the most, is somebody that I really don't even know. But it's
yeah.
not about but it's like, what do you need to know about someone to have that human connection to get what you need from them? And it's kind of a wild thing.
It's strange. Let me just address this. It's hard to tell a 40-year-old man that, especially when he isn't humble, he's defensive. Yeah, I know. I understand that, and I agree. But I think, if he had the right help, if he had a therapist, they would go to a deeper level because
You would hope so, but I think that goes to your point, Jan, though, of the disorder, of the illness,
yes,
because
but I
his
mean, if
illness
he
won't allow him to. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I know. But then if he was to fight if he was to go to regular therapy, and I know it's difficult in the States and probably in Canada, but, if he was to see somebody regularly, somebody that he managed to form a relationship with, who, started saying to the thing is, with people like Pete's is you have to be logical. You have to understand how they understand things. So you can't just say to them, "Oh, go off and do this and go off and do that." You have
It's
to sort
such
of
a
speak
slow
to them
process.
in a certain way.
I get what you're saying, and that's the thing, right? We can't do that as 100 different voices, faceless
Exactly.
voices. I get you.
Exactly.
But the thing is, neither is his therapist. And his therapist is the one that I hold to task for this. You see what I'm saying? Like his therapist is it's almost, neglect at this point. This man is on the internet crying out. He's playing dating video games. You know what I mean? Like not to make fun of him, but it's like, come on. He needs help. He doesn't know how to do this. And this is the
Look,
best he can come up with. And the people that are in his life that should be able to help aren't doing it.
does he have a therapist?
I don't really follow him like that to know, the ins and outs, but apparently he has therapy once a month virtually.
Once a month isn't enough. See, the
I in
thing is,
my sorry, go ahead.
what what I mean, my experience with therapists is, and it's probably because of who I am, um, it's very hard to sort of tell them everything. So what
Yes,
what I used to do, I'm not in therapy anymore. Um, I should be because of my diagnosis, but that's another story.
should. Should. I
But
think we all need like a mental health
yeah,
professional, even as adults, especially as adults, somebody that we can check in to be like, "Hey, I'm having this issue with a coworker. Is it me or is it them?"
yeah, yeah. But, what I found really interesting, getting back to what you were saying, was that I think you're kind of like me. I think you like to have a, spiritual, connection to somebody, and I think everybody needs that. Uh, a lot of people may not think that they need it, but I think for me, it's really important. I'll give you an example. I've got 2 best friends that I've had for years and years. One of them I've had for 40 years.
Oh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
the other one, and our kids all grew up together and everything, okay?
Mhm.
The other one, I was a neighbor. She was a Pakistani woman. Well, she is a Pakistani woman. And when I moved over to this area, right, let me work this out, 22 years ago, she was my next door neighbor. And we were neighbors for years and years and years until about 6 years ago. She Now, they're my 2 BFFs. Now, she is a Muslim woman with a very strict Muslim husband, and you would think, as a Christian, which I am, that we wouldn't have a
Mhm.
lot in common. But
Oh, no, I would
the
understand that. I
the
had a yeah,
reality
sorry.
is we connect
Yeah.
on such a spiritual level.
I
We are
find many
literally
similarities
soul
between
sisters.
Islam and Christianity. I was raised Christian and with Chantal, reverting, I have found so much enjoyment kind of like learning about Islam and you know what I mean? Like it's been really nice. So
What,
I
through
I can see that.
Chantal? Do you think you've learnt something through Chantal?
Yes, I see the connection in the Shahada where Jan
Oh my god, I'm sorry to laugh at that.
I think I find the beauty in life. So I feel like I'm an artist at heart. So,
How can
and
you learn? How can you learn from somebody who is playing
well, because I
cosplay?
watch through Monty, I don't watch her directly.
Okay,
So
okay.
and Monty's a Googler, so he's spitting facts. And then also everybody's in chat sharing their experiences and different things. We learn a lot.
Okay. That's
Yeah. And I've actually met some good, like well, I would say I've met at least one friend in chat.
yeah. It's
And
really it's it does make me laugh because I've seen the Islam religion through completely different eyes because I've seen it firsthand through my
mm,
friends marriage and whatnot.
well, you have
And
a much more authentic, maybe genuine experience.
oh
See, my
god, yes I
experience
do.
was through a similar situation to Chantal. I had a roommate who was a girl. Well, she was a adult woman, but we were in university, so like a young woman who was having a hard time, and I think she was using religion as like her focus point,
Mhm.
and she reverted, or at least that's what everyone around her saw it as. And so it wasn't like Chantal, where she was trying to find a man through the religion. I think she was just trying to find like a life purpose, like a organization. Because I mean, when you look at the clothes, they tell you how to eat, how to sleep, how to pray, how to everything in a religion, right? So if you're lost, if you're struggling, and if you need some guidance, Christianity, Islam is right there for you. So
Mm.
anyway, so I can see where FB's coming from with that. And then also with the person that I knew, I think that's where she was, how she was approaching religion at that time.
For me, um, when I look at her, oh, if I wouldn't even class her as being in the same religion as Islam for so many reasons. And I know I can only speak from my friends' life experiences as a Muslim woman. Um, there's so many things I could say, but I
Well,
really
in
don't
many
want
ways, it's
to.
not the same religion for her. For Chantal as a revert and
No,
as your
because
friend,
it's cosplay. That's because Chantel is literally doing that, playing cosplay just to get a man, and that, for me, is so insulting. I can't get over that, and, I mean, to
yes,
be that
but
desperate is
even
just
as a Christian,
awful.
you know what? I was raised a Christian. I was, honestly, I think I could still identify as a Christian now, if I come full circle. And people would not see that. I don't go to church. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that you would say, oh no, Edna's not a practicing Christian, right? And I think a lot of ways people say that about Chantal, but she's checking the boxes and she's trying. And like now it's not the depth that like clearly we can see it's very surface level. But this is only the it's not even the first year. Maybe in a full year we can see, where she is once she's really processing and work with the text, the Quran and everything to really have a deeper understanding of it. Because it does take time. She's not gonna be a converted Muslim like your friend who lived that life for years and years when she's only been in it for a few months.
I think the point that, and I really don't want to disagree with you all the time because I think you make a lot of sense. And I don't want to feel that I'm bullying you to accept what I'm saying, because I know I can
Mhm.
be dogmatic, and I'm always open to hear other people's
Mhm.
opinions. Um, but I think when you're sort of see, I wouldn't say I'm deeply religious, um,
Okay.
but I'm very spiritual, and for me, it's hard to put it into words, because you shouldn't really, I'm of
Well, do you
the
mind if I ask you, like, what sect of Christianity you follow or you were raised as? Like, I was Baptist, or you like Catholic, or do you mind
um
sharing?
I was raised Church of England, very much so. I went to church schools. I
So,
went
yeah,
to
that doesn't really.
there was a period in my childhood where I went to school. I went to church every week, and I didn't I didn't necessarily appreciate it at the time, because it was blooming boring. But
Oh, I hear
when I
you.
look at my upbringing, church was very much a part of it. And when
Okay.
I got to the age of, as
I
Chris
think I understand what you're
and then
saying and where you're coming from.
and
I
then
you because I'm looking it
confirmed.
up on Google. Yeah, and that's what, and I think what it is that I'm just giving her the grace to, this is her life. This is what she's saying is happening. And I don't know, it's kind of like
There's a
I just
part
take
of
her
me
at her
that
word for it. That's
really
all I
wants
have.
to there's a part of me that really admires you for your optimism, and your trust
I know, right?
in
I
the
just
in the
got it back then.
in the
I'm
human
working hard to
soul.
keep it. I
Yeah,
know.
but that's good. Because I like that, and because
Mhm.
maybe because I'm the complete opposite. Um, and as Grateful
Really?
Life says, funny how Mecca is the one place she wants to visit. My friend has been to Mecca. I think they can go once a year, and I think she's been a few times. And
Mhm.
to go to Mecca, it's such a humongous thing for Muslims to do. It's
Is it,
like
so is it like a trek physically or just
it's a trek.
emotionally? Like,
It's a
oh, okay.
trek.
I don't really know anything about it, to be
It
honest.
is where
So, yeah.
it is where the one thing about the Muslims that I know, and I've been close with, is
Mhm.
their religion is very important to them. And I'm not saying that they shove it down your throat, because they don't. But I think if you have a friend that is different to you, well, the way I am is, if I've a friend that's different to me, I want to learn about them. I want to learn about the religion that they hold, and understand it. And I think if more people were like that, then they would be much more accepting of others. And it's
Right.
something that I try and sort of, you know, I've sort of drummed into my kids as well.
Man,
Um,
that's
and
what's so funny to me with Chantal. I'm sorry, I had to cut you off. This woman, the person that I knew who reverted, she showed me how to wrap a hijab. The fact that Foodie wrapped her head the way she does, it's like it's crazy to me because I get what you're saying. She is cosplaying. I get it through and through. But at the same time, she doesn't see it because I would imagine that somebody would not take something as important, as sacred as a religion, like like Islam. She wouldn't portray herself as something like that as a Muslim that she's not. It's just it. I'm sorry, but it makes no sense to me. I rather believe that she just doesn't know better. I don't know.
but I think the reality is that because she doesn't, and has never held um a deep a deep core about anything really, whether it's religion, whether it's relationships, anything in her life, everything in her life has been on one level and it's all been aimed at her. It's all been to feed her. And I'm not saying anything about food, I'm saying about her
Yes, because
soul,
it's on the
about her
drug level, it's on the
personality.
sex level.
So
Yes,
she
yes, it's on
doesn't
all.
understand what religion really means to people.
Right.
So she can play this game. She can, you know, cosplay
But the
because
thing
it
is, she
doesn't
doesn't
mean
know
anything
herself,
to her.
and she doesn't get it. And it's like, how do you tell somebody to like shut up and listen? You know what I mean? Like not
Exactly.
listen to me, but listen to yourself. She doesn't hear it, right?
No. No, and that must come. That's absolutely right. Grateful life. Nothing is sacred to foodie, but money. That's what I was trying to say in my sort of roundabout way, because
Really,
it's
I don't even
something
think
that
money is sacred because look at the way she's throwing away her channel in a way. She's she doesn't have really any sense to the way she goes about like a business sense, her channel. So I don't even see how she like honors the money.
I think she's a lot more astute about money than other people realize, because she
Hmm.
knows. I've always said, always, that she is the biggest troll. She knows what will get people talking. She knows that if she does this,
Jan,
that people
please
will talk.
continue because I love money. You know, I'm an accountant. I don't know if you know, but I'm an accountant. So please explain because I think I understand what you're saying. How she's like
Yeah.
investing in this the like yeah, go ahead. I'm still wrapping my mind around it.
Yeah, she really does know what she's doing, and she know look at the way she was, what, say 6 months ago, when her whole existence, her whole online existence was about flashing bits of herself.
Mhm.
Now, that was to get people to look at her. That was to get reactors to react to. That was also a very good sign of how she suffers with self-loathing, because any person who had even an ounce of self-respect would not have done that. So, you have to look at why she was doing it. Why was she really doing it? Was she doing it because she couldn't care less, or was she doing it because she wanted more money in the bank?
The
Because she
self-respect
wanted
and the
money in the
self-esteem, I I hear what you're saying, and it's very easy to use sex work as an example. I get it, but it's hard to. Okay, I'm gonna have to let that point go because that's something I have to work on because that's new for me. You're blowing my mind, Jan. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm quite good at blowing
Y-
people's minds,
You're
because
right.
my mind just goes off, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm tenacious, but I'm also aware that I'm quite sort of pragmatic as well, and I don't really want to be like that, but I think because I'm older, that's just the way I speak, you know? Um, she was hang on, what Sasha said here. Yeah, she was livid about FFG. Yeah, and that lousy 6K. Yeah, I think Foodie's foundation is very strongly built on money, coupled with a very sort of I don't care less attitude
Mhm.
about the way others perceive her. And I think that's probably because she has such a self-loathing about herself that she doesn't care anymore. Come on. I mean, if you'd have said, who would want,
That's
listen,
a
we all
mhm,
have bad days, right? We all have bad days
mhm.
when we look rough. I mean, I've done some of my short
Jen,
sort
you're
of chats,
beautiful. Shut up, but
and
go ahead.
I look as rough as they come, but it makes me laugh about it, I just
Mhm.
laugh. Um, but with someone like Foodie, I mean, I don't wanna diagnose her, I'm in no situation to diagnose her, so I won't, but I can sort of speak about how her behavior patterns, um, point in certain directions, and
Well,
the
say the
woman
direction, Jan. I don't know. I don't
the
have the
wo
DS5 in front of me or the
Well,
DSM-5,
I
whatever.
I know I've also been in the mental health community, and I know a
Mhm.
great deal about mental health, trust me, and
I've
so
heard you speak a little bit. Like, I don't I'm not I've done a lot of research and learning, in my own way.
mhm,
So, because of my own personal issues that I want answers for, and this is my life. So
mhm,
I'm taking this from every aspect that I think is pertinent, right? And and I'm attracted to this community if I like it or not. So I'm not going to fight it. You know what I mean? Like the people that are here, I was talking to someone at my job about the drama community. You see what I'm saying? Like, w we're all out here, like, this is not just some tucked away part, like, we're real people, real like,
yeah,
FB is really living her life, acting like this. Heath is real, all SGM, driving drunk, all of these different things. Let me not say too much. I don't want to put accusations out there. But the things that we are seeing that are so troubling, right? It's like I'm attracted to it. I wanna it's entertainment, but also it's like I'm an adult, like I have to be responsible and I can't just let this go unchecked. I'm sorry. If I'm
but
going
then
to be a part of it as a viewer, I'm a part of it.
yeah. And the problem with that is I think you're doing the right thing by not having your own channel, because the problem is
Right.
when you have a channel and speak out about it,
It's
eventually you'll be
dangerous.
heard and then they come and attack you. That
Yeah, that's
is
the problem with
the
speaking out. You'll
problem.
be heard.
So you can come on with me and say whatever you like, I don't mind.
Mhm. I mean,
But
but that's the thing. It's like I have to learn how to get over it, right? Like
what
I
do you
can't just
mean
hide
by get
myself
over
away.
it? What do you mean by
Get
get
over
over it?
get over my insecurities, my whatever keeps me from being myself. Well, now I know what keeps me from being myself in this community. It's toxic and
Yeah,
like as a professional, I wouldn't want someone to, just play around with calling my office and because it's like you have my name, you can look
I
like seeing the way
know.
people yeah, it's like I don't want to play those games, you know what I mean? So
See,
in that
I'm
respect,
quite
that's why I'm
lucky.
not.
I'm quite lucky because I've got my own sort of, I don't work for anybody else anymore. I used to, and, I think if I was still working in schools, then
Mhm.
I definitely, wouldn't be quite so outspoken, and I wasn't,
Well,
outspoken.
that's the thing. I'm becoming more outspoken because I think I do want to go work in schools or things of that nature because I don't want to take this knowledge and just have it die with me. I'm not having any kids. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like like we need to do better. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like each one teach one.
yeah. See, the thing with me is I will speak out, especially when it's something that firstly means a lot to me, and secondly is an injustice. And I feel I'm very much how can I put it? I always sort of um try and help the underdog. Do you know what that means?
Yes. Well, and also I feel like why can't we have fun sharing our lives online?
Exactly. Why does it have to
Because
be one big blooming drama? You know,
It's fun
it's
to see
just
the
so
drama, but it's also
awful.
fun to see the healing. Like, I really love Jessica Messica because she breaks down things and she says it in like a healthier way with her commentary. And
Mm,
not that I always agree with it, but I think she does, sometimes she gives her opinion and she lays it out, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Instead of people, like she says, what it really is, or at least what she sees it really is, instead of kind of like cap or just making up what they think people want to hear.
Yeah.
And it's so
Uh,
when people, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to respond here to what Sasha said, that Monty should steer clear of DC and Negs. 100%. 100%. I was in DC's community, if you like. I
Hmm.
hate saying I'm in a community because I don't believe I am. I'm just my own person. But anyway,
Or you could say
um,
you followed her or you watched her or whatever.
yeah, I used to enjoy her. I used to go into
Hmm.
her live chats, her live streams. I used to chat away with
That's a
her.
part of the community. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people are so afraid of saying they're part of the club or whatever. It's like, that's all
Yeah, but that's
right.
because I don't join clubs. I don't.
Yeah.
I well, yeah, maybe I'm just being, you know, lying to myself. But yeah, I mean, I liked DC. I liked
Mhm.
her delivery. I liked the fact that she was an intelligent woman because I like intelligent women and men.
Yes.
Um, and and then she met Negs. And I just couldn't. I just could not, would
That's
not
that's what
accept
terrifies
him.
me about dating. Because as a black woman, seeing the relationship, dynamics between black women and black men is something else, which I won't even get into because that's a whole nother story. But just men and women, and it's like when you have like the issue of mental health on top of that, you have
Yeah.
these two unstable people trying to connect, and you can connect, but if you connect in an unhealthy way, I mean, we see how that worked out for Pete's and with Foodie. And now we're seeing it with DC and Next. It's really interesting.
Well, I mean, it's kind of muddled for me because I lost two very good friends. I lost two people that I believed were very good friends because of Negs and DC. I mean, those that know me will probably know who I'm talking about. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Um, I
'Cause I have no idea,
I
but
won't I won't speak ill of them because
mhm.
I believe them to be good friends, and I a friend means something to me,
Okay,
and
do you
I
mind if I
believe
ask a question?
them. Yeah?
Yeah. So I agree. Friends are very important.
Mm,
And we have this, like with like YouTube is not parasocial anymore. It's not one way, it's two ways.
yeah.
And so there's a relationship here, and friendship might be too strong a word, but but where do you draw the line? Like where do you say, okay, this is a friend compared to something else? Because like, have you met these people in
Well, I
in
think
real life,
people
or were they able to help you with a
no,
situation?
no, because
You know.
they were in different countries, and I think people sort of say, "Oh, you can't have online friends, blah de blah." You
Mhm.
can. I've
I
had
agree.
online friends, and I've let them. I think they become friends when you let them into your world. When you allow them into your real life, then they
Okay.
become your friends. And
When they
those,
know about what's happening with
yes,
you
yes,
outside of YouTube.
the internet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
when you chat to them for hours on end, you FaceTime with them, you take them along shopping trips with you, you talk about
Man,
their
yes.
family,
People don't
and
understand. It's
yeah,
real.
you take them, these 2 friends, I they know everything about me, not that I hide a lot about me anyway, but I keep my family to myself,
Mhm.
when I'm online for, you know, obvious reasons. But when you make a real friend online, you as I said, you let them in and you share them. I mean, it's like I remember being at w a family meal in a restaurant and one of them phoning me on FaceTime and me, allowing them to talk to my family members, to see my family
Right,
members because I believed we were friends. Um,
right.
then the thing that I will never understand is how those friendships that I believed were real friendships
Mhm.
suddenly turn, and it's because of other people. It's because of the fact that you don't agree with what they're saying about somebody else, or you've been
But you
uh
know what, Jen? I Now this is where I think I need to disagree because I don't know if it's necessarily something that happens. I think maybe these people weren't really friends to begin with
yeah,
because if looking at like S-Jam and what I know of his drama and like how his explicit videos or photos have been leaked, somebody who's a friend wouldn't share that
yeah,
content, that that
I
those things.
know.
Because you
But
wouldn't hold it as something, you know what I mean? Like, you would hold those in a different regard.
what I don't understand is, yeah, I think you're absolutely right when you say they obviously weren't real friends, but it's so hard
To
to
know, to be able
recognize
to
that
distinguish,
when you're
to
in
have the
that
discernment.
friendship. You only
Right,
really find out after the event. Um, but the hurtful thing for me is that I've let them in,
right.
I've
Well, and I
let them
think that's what
in.
I'm learning to kinda identify and to, like, recognize is when I see these quote unquote "red flags" or what have you, that how to, handle them in healthy ways. Because, like, if it's a romantic partner, you say, "Oh, you do X, Y, and Z. I don't wanna deal with you." You move on because you know if that's somebody you don't wanna live with, that's fine. But when we have people that we work with, that we're just casually bumping into at the store, like, we have to live and interact with these people. We can't just completely dismiss them. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I mean? I feel like we have to have.
there's a difference between a friend and an acquaintance. Now, people that you
Yes,
bump into in the street, they're acquaintances. Even if you bumped into them every day, right? They're still an acquaintance. And it's the same with a work colleague. When you step into the friend zone, that's a different thing. And that's when you expect a certain loyalty and you expect to be able to trust that person
I
and you
agree.
expect to move along in the same way, in the same direction. But what seems to happen when you're um in a online friendship, especially in this side of the internet, those rules seem to go out the window. So,
Well, the
although
thing they're
you
out.
still feel that you're being a friend to them, for me, if I'm not happy with somebody, I'll tell them, "Look, I'm not happy with that." You know? If I'm not happy with a friend, I will say, like, if we were friends, Edna, and you said something, I wasn't happy about it, I would say to you, "Edna, I'm really not very happy with that." And I would expect you to show me the respect that I would show you.
Of
But
course.
what seems to happen is, especially online, those rules completely sort of disappear when it comes to a friendship. And Grateful Life is absolutely right when she says, "Isn't isn't it a part of real friendship to agree to disagree? It is 100%. But the
Absolutely.
problem is because of the micro society that um, that we all are a part of in this
Mhm.
sort of community, if you want to say that. If you disagree with one of your friends, and then they are seen to disagree with you outside the friendship, then what do you do? I mean, do you
I
then
think that's fine. It's life. Just because you're my friend doesn't mean like when I'll use Megan as an example. There's no secret. I love Monty's chat. Megan is like a wonderful person, the mod. You know what I mean? Megan, however you feel about Megan, I'm like, you can't say anything wrong about Megan. That's my friend. We all in the chat. We just it's hearts in the chat. We cool. You can't
I
say
don't
anything
know
wrong
her.
about Megan. And you know what? I didn't like what Megan said. Because Monty was like, did Megan really mean that? And he rolled it back and he was like, oh, she did say that. Was she wrong? Yeah, that was a little too much, Megan. But do I love Megan? Yeah, absolutely. Because we're absolutely gonna make mistakes and we're gonna be wrong and we're gonna have different opinions. And at the end of the day, Megan comes in with so much love and positivity and light, like most of the time, that when she says one or two things here and there, like I feel like I'll let her handle that. Because for the most part, I feel like she's cool with me. Now it'd be different if I don't know if that's not the case, where it's like, okay, no, you doing way too much. This is going on and on and on. You know what I mean? That's when we handle it. Like, but we need to have like procedures, policy to take care of things like that. We can't just say like, oh, you're doing too much. We don't want to deal with you, because that's not right.
See, I I don't know how close you've become with Megan. I mean,
Oh,
are
I'm not
you?
close at
Do,
all. I'm just in chat saying hi. I don't talk to
yeah.
Megan outside of chat. But
Well,
and so when I say I love Megan, it's just like I feel like I'm not watching every single thing that she says. That's what I'm saying. So I'll just
yeah,
put that out there.
yeah. Well, I mean, the only good thing I can say is that I've actually think. Can you hear my clangers outside? That's because it's windy,
Oh,
and
okay. Oh, the wind chime.
the wood chimes are clanging away. Um, I've actually in the past, say 4 years, maybe not that long, 3 years, managed to lose four good friends, four people that I believed were real friends, four
Mhm.
people that we used to talk to all the time. There was a threesome. There was three of us. Actually, no, there was four of us to begin with that were really good friends. One of them went off, fell by the wayside. Oh, such a long story, but yeah. So then there were just three of us. Then one night we had this almighty row. I can't even remember what it was about. So it sort of dwindled down. Oh yeah, two of them started really fighting, and I wasn't even involved in it. Um, and I ended up with just one friend
Mhm.
from that group. two of the other group, two of that group, went off and paddled up with some of my haters. And that, I think, is what happens over here online when you realize that those people weren't really your friend because they team up not only with your haters, but with your doxers.
Yeah, that's the thing. That would be the
Now,
part where that's too far. Yeah.
one of my best friends who we went through so much together, um, he came from the mental health community and helped me so much with my mental health. I'll always be indebted to him um, because he just helped me so much.
Right.
He was there all
I
the
understand. I have a friend like I feel like Timber's like that with for me, where talking to
yeah,
her has been like therapy sometimes. I
yeah.
understand.
Well, this guy was always there, and I was always there for him.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna go into depths about it because there's probably lurkers, or there will be lurkers who'll put 2 and
Right
2
at this
together
point, who knows
and
where this is
make
gonna go?
and
Jeez.
make 6.
Gee, I thought
So
it was just gonna be the 2 of us, 3 of us with Sasha and him. No.
I know. Um, yeah, so anyway, that friendship died, um, in such an explosive way, in such a way that I was left totally devastated.
I'm
Um,
so sorry.
and yeah, because I saw him as a brother, I really
Mhm.
did. And we'd been
People
through a
don't
lot
realize
together with
friendships
all the
are hard.
crap
Like, when
and
you have a
everything.
friendship breakup,
Oh
that
my
could be just
God.
as
I mean,
hard as a death or whatever have you know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah,
It was never a romantic, um, friendship, it was purely a friendship,
right, but
to the
still,
point
yeah.
where I would have done anything for him, and I believed he would do anything for me, you know? He was like my brother, and I cried. I cried over him for such a long time because I couldn't understand why, he started sort of well, he accused me of something. He accused me of not being there for him mentally at a time that he really needed it. And then sort of and
Again, this goes back to what I was saying, the fighting styles, because he felt like
yeah,
you weren't there for him and you guys didn't reconcile a way for because I'm sure either you didn't understand how important it was for you to be there for him at that point,
yeah,
or maybe you weren't able to be there for him because you had your own stuff going on.
that was it. And at the time, let me just say, no, it wasn't Vidal. No, it wasn't Vidal. Um, it was, I mean, it was very, very painful because yeah, I was going through something at the time. He was going through something really bad at the time, and, uh, I'd introduced a 3rd partner, introduced a
Party.
3rd friend, okay, and there were a few issues around that, which I felt that we sort of managed to smooth out. So, you know, for a time, 3 of us were friends, and then this thing happened. This time happened where he was so upset with me, um, and I was so upset not only with him, but also with myself because I felt that I'd failed him. But he
Well,
then
and I could
started
imagine
saying
then that makes
things.
you feel like you weren't able to be the friend, and he's
Yeah,
not giving you the grace to say, "Well, hey, because the thing is, you're not indebted to him. You're not obligated to be a friend to him. If you can't be a friend, he shouldn't hold that against you. You have to take
yeah,
care of
I
yourself.
know. See, yeah, see, I'm
You
not.
shouldn't hold that against yourself, you know?
Well, I did at the time because I think because he meant so much
It's
to
hard
me.
not to.
You know, it would
Yeah,
be like if, you know, one of my real brothers had said that to me, "Oh, well, you know, you weren't there for me. You just were
right.
going on and on about your things and blah de blah." And so yeah, instead of allowing the um the dust to settle, which is what I wanted to do, I had to deal with my own feelings, which were, you know, very hurt. And, you know, it's a bit like grief, as you say. So you go through different stages. And, you know, I think the first one is like devastation, and then you move into anger, and then you move along into confusion. And when you get to the end of that, if the person isn't going along the same path as you, even in their grief, it's very difficult to meet at the end of the path and say, okay, we've both grown. through this experience,
and be
um,
able to come back together.
and be able to come back together because I think
Right.
as you're saying, that needs to be done,
Mhm.
and we
It's
weren't
hard
able
to
to do
do.
that,
Yeah.
a
If
and I
you
think
listen, Jan, you're not the only one. I've had those issues with, people where there's people that I thought I made genuine connections with and we're not talking. And
yeah,
and I'm not gonna say like I would say genuine connection in the sense that like you just said, but it's not anything that I'm like seriously hurt over. It's just kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, this is a learning experience and I'm using it to learn from.
yeah.
So I won't say it's like that emotionally charged, but I can relate. I understand what you're saying where it's like, well, how do you go from here? Because if you were able to process those emotions, if they were able to process those emotions, and you guys were okay going forward, you're still the same people. The things that you
Exactly.
liked about each other are still there.
Exactly, you still have the same heart and, maybe I wasn't there at the time when he needed me to be there. Maybe I was acting selfishly. Um, I can hold my hands up to that and say, "Yeah, I'm not perfect." But then he needs to do the same thing. And as I
Exactly.
said, because he didn't, and the other problem is that because he is a creator, um, excuse me, and I could see what he was then putting out into the world, and I was, like,
You get
surplus
in your
to
feelings too. Yeah. I had
yeah,
to block some
I'm
people. Yeah.
surplus to any of his requirements now. All of a sudden, he doesn't need me, he doesn't want me, he
Mm,
doesn't
he's
and I'm not saying that
hurt.
it's just the fact that he's male shouldn't mean that
Right.
it's that kind of relationship because it most definitely wasn't. Um, but it's like
You know that
on a
this comes from a
connection
place of
level.
pain.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just and that's the thing where you have these like that's what's so kind of like wild about YouTube where you have these whole communities that kind of feel like it's like that energy like feels the animosity or the clashing that happens where it's like you can't it's hard to get past it when you have all of these people reminding you constantly of what's being said and what's being done
yeah.
and even if that's not how they truly feel that's what's being put out there so I get you it's
Well,
that's tough.
the situation with that one is now is that there's no bridge left for me to cross. What I sometimes do is step away for, a few months or whatever, a month maybe, and then I see how I feel about things. And if the friendship really means something to me or really meant something to me, then
Uh-huh.
I will reach out to them. I can't help it. That's who I am in
Yeah, I'm the same way.
a last, attempt
Yeah.
of patching things up. But unfortunately, in that situation, when I reached out, um, he wasn't he wasn't capable or he wasn't willing to take my hand of friendship again. I feel mainly because he had teamed up with one of my doxers.
Yeah. It's
So
so
it's
messy. It's
like,
the same story over and over again. It's
ah,
so funny.
okay. But it's so hurtful.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
when people say, "Oh, yeah, but it's only the internet friendship." No, for some of us, it means more than that.
Mhm.
And, the last 2 that I've lost
We're
in
sensitive
tandem,
people. It
the
means a
last
lot.
2 the last 2 I lost in tandem, the first one just completely gaslit me and said I was this and said I was that and doing this and I do that and I was like, "What is this coming from?" the guy that I loved, I actually loved this guy. I actually loved him. I loved him as a brother, and
Well, I
I
don't
told
yeah.
the other person I told the other person how devastated I was at his
Mm.
actions, and she was like, "Oh, well, I'm sure he doesn't mean this, and I'm sure he doesn't mean that." And then further down the road, I find out that they've teamed up and they're
Yeah,
now in
mhm.
this other camp that I refuse to be a part of.
Listen,
And it's
Jan.
like,
Yes.
Jesus, what have I you know
When I saw that, at the first time I saw it, I said, "Okay, I'm gonna walk away." But the thing is, I've been using this as an experiment. Like, I wanna learn, right? Because this not only happens online, this happens in real life. And it has happened, I haven't even noticed, right? So when it's happened now, I'm like, "Oh, now I see what people are doing." And I'm seeing it with other people, and it's not really my tea to spill, so I won't spill it. But people are trolls. They are not satisfied in their own lives. And so they are online acting out whatever fantasy they are creating. And you're just a pawn. You're just a piece to
Yeah.
play in their game. And you're serious, but they're just playing. Because as much as you think you're connecting and they're a real person, and I get all of that. For them, they're just playing on the internet.
But yeah, yeah.
And when you
Yeah,
know what I
great
mean? And
real
I
life family through TLC. Oh, that's
oh,
lovely.
TRC.
Yeah. The thing is, and again, if I was in therapy, they'd say, "Oh yeah, but not all people are like that, Jan. You just picked the wrong one or something." But I like to think I'm quite careful. I'm quite careful with who I make
Well,
friends
this
with
online
online.
field this is a
But
different arena here.
that's what I wanted to say to you, Edna, when you were saying just now that you worry about building friendships offline. Listen, darling, it's completely different offline. Completely different offline. And one of the
It is,
reasons is
but
because you
yeah.
can walk away. Whereas when you're online, you can't. You get constant reminders, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube, because most of these people are YouTube creators,
I get what
and
you're
to
saying, but I'm
suddenly
thinking of a
feel that
pre-COVID. But Jan, I'm thinking of a pre-COVID in real life. Like post-COVID is a little different because we're working from home, and like for me, I understand what you're saying, but it's like I'm thinking about like getting out in the world again. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to work from home forever. I don't, so I'm going to be dealing with coworkers because I'm realizing that I have really babied myself. I'm like spoiled working from home and living where I'm at, and kind of, how we can set up things to be automated to like have your groceries delivered. And like the
I
pandemic changed a lot of
know.
things being, under lockdown for two weeks to turn into 2 years. And
It quite interests me. It does interest me how what's I don't know. I really don't want to sound patronizing, but I find it quite endearing that you worry so much about real life relationships. I think real life relationships are so much easier um,
oh,
because you can see the
well,
person, you can feel the
see, that
person,
goes
you
into my
know.
personal business, Jan, because it's not that easy for me.
Well, no, I think you will. Once you go out,
Hmm.
you'll
Well,
start to
I mean,
recognize
now, well, yeah, but I'm not the same person as I was at the beginning of the pandemic
none of us
too.
are,
So
darling. None of us
Yeah,
are.
so I get what you're saying. Like I have not truly implemented like my new, self or whatever in the world. So I get what you're saying. But it's also the
Yeah.
complexity and the trauma of unpacking the pandemic and what I've learned about myself through childhood traumas and different things. And it's like you can't just be out in the world with all of this unpacked stuff expecting to be like a healthy, productive member of society. It doesn't work that way. That's why we have so many issues because people aren't dealing with their issues.
Well, I think you're right up to a point. I think there have been people that will be scarred for a long, long time because of the pandemic. And, there's no sort of quick and easy fix there. But
Mhm.
what I would say to you is, I think you've got a wonderful soul, and I don't think it would be very long until you met somebody. If you're talking about, forming a relationship, I think. I like to think that you would meet someone who's very similar. He's your
Yeah, you
sort
you
of
can't walk outside your door
soulmate.
without tripping over a man. It's the right one. I don't want
I
just
know.
anyone.
Listen, I can't talk on that because I'm rubbish at picking men. I'm rubbish. Yeah, I must get on to Grateful Lives chat there. Comment there. You were on panel with the cute pilot, isn't he adorable? And
Oh,
I want you all to think. Listen, it's not that I can't form friendships because I can.
mhm.
Um, but I I've just been very unlucky in that I've formed friendships with people that obviously didn't feel the same way about me. And I have to just accept that. And I do accept it. But one of the people that I've met online that is a friend of mine is the pilot. He's absolutely gorgeous. He's a lovely, lovely man. Um, I'm on his friend list now. So, I've been over to Berlin. I've met him and acted the fool.
Hey.
Um, and he's come over here because he used to fly over here a lot. So yeah, it's not that
Ooh.
I can't make friendships. It's just, and obviously, I'm not like, it's a different friendship to the friendships I had with the other people, because I don't take Patrick to family meals, although I could. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, he's adorable. Love him. Um,
Mhm.
but there's been times when he's needed an older woman to sort of say to him, "Come on, Patrick," and I'm not going to give any of his secrets away.
No, I
But
understand what you're saying. I'll
I
use
know,
myself as an example
I
where
know
you
a
talk
lot
to people
about
in different
him.
capacity. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I know
yeah,
a
and it's
lot
like it's
about him,
helpful.
and you know, he accepts me for who I am. I can be an absolute fool, and
Mhm.
and make him laugh, or I can turn to his mother and say, "Listen, matey, um, I think this," and I do big him up because I'm one of these people that believes in bigging people up. I'll give you an example. My
I
granddaughter
feel
still
like a
hasn't got.
natural born cheerleader.
I, I am. I'm a cheerleader when I see or when I believe somebody needs to be cheered on, and I
Mhm.
don't care, what sex they are, what religion they are, what uh, sexual orientation they
And it's
are,
really
what
a
color
shame that
they
our
are.
society doesn't respect and honor us. Like just it's like we need people like us. We don't need to
Yeah,
know everything about it. We need to be able to ask the right questions, to
yeah.
know, to decipher what's important, X, Y, and Z. So you can't be a complete idiot cheering on anything. But
No,
but when
I'm
you
not.
have the it's not. But okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say a story of like Myself and my daughter and my granddaughter went into London. I mean, it only takes us half an hour to get in there, but we went into London a couple of months ago. It was in the summer. It was a lovely day. We went to Camden Market, and my granddaughter brought a little friend with her. Very quiet girl. Didn't say very much, but quite adorable, really. And she's
Okay.
got like bright orange hair and, anyway, so my daughter had booked for her and my granddaughter to have a facial. So while they
Oh,
were in having their
great.
facial, I was to keep the friend company. And, what's anyway, I'll finish the story. So, they went off to have their facial. So myself and this little girl,
I know this
uh
is kind of a tangent, but what kind of facials did they get?
she was
Do you know?
12. My granddaughter's now 13, so yeah, she was
Mhm.
probably 12 at the time. Oh, they were just having like a soft facial. We
Oh,
like to
okay.
pamper ourselves. We can't help it in this family.
Self-care is important. Yeah, that's
We
great.
do like to pamper ourselves. Anyway, so it was such a hot day, so I said to, my granddaughter's friend, I said, "Come on then, let's go off and find somewhere to drink. Do you think we could find a bar? Not a bar, we weren't having alcohol, but just somewhere to sit outside and have a drink and watch the world go by."
Uh-huh. A
And
patio.
eventually we found somewhere and we sort of sat down. I was blooming exhausted, and we sat there with our bottle of Coke and our bag of crisps, and, I just chatted away with her, and I looked at her, and I just said I just said, "You know what?" I said, "You look absolutely gorgeous in that outfit you're wearing." And I saw her face light up like a bulb, and she said,
Mhm.
"Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you know, that green on you just looks amazing." I just spent the next 10 minutes bigging her up, and
Right.
she was so pleased. It's like she suddenly sort of blossomed, and I said to her, I said,
Yeah.
"You've got a touch of style, haven't you?" And she said, "Oh, well, I do like to look at my clothes." And, she said, "But I have to be careful with my red hair. So I have to avoid pink and I have to avoid this and that." I said, "Listen, you wear what you want to wear." I said,
Mhm.
"Because you've got style, girl. So, you know,
Right.
don't you she said, "Oh, well, sometimes, people make fun of my hair." I said, "Listen, when people make fun of your hair, which is beautiful, you swish
Right.
your head around and say, 'Jealous,' roll your neck and say, 'Jealous.'"
Dan, I am so excited for The Little Mermaid. I cannot, like, contain myself.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
a
hi,
redhead.
Daria. Hi,
Hello.
Daria.
I love Daria. Six
And
head.
and that's what I do. I big people up. And the funny thing
Yeah.
is, my granddaughter can't get over this. This happened months and months ago, and every so often when we're talking about
Oh,
something, she'll
really?
say, "Oh, I remember, when you went off and you had to spend time with, her friend." Um, and she sort of laughs about it, and she always said, "What did you talk about, Nanny?" And I said, "I just made her feel well. I just made her feel happy for a little while because I think that's
Such a
important."
small thing, but it's
It
so
is.
important. I remember when I was a child in school, it's so funny when I think about it, but they picked like a handful of us to be little basically like cheerleaders. They were
Yeah.
like, "You guys, we see, you're the special ones." They literally like they brainwashed us for a day to be like positive influences in the school. It sounds bizarre to
I
say it
love
out
it.
loud now, but that's exactly what it was. And knowing who I am and like looking at it now, I'm like, oh, of course. Like,
I tell you, I get so much. I don't know. I mean, I mean it when I say it. I mean, I'd never sort of, and I think that's just a spirituality within me. Um, but my granddaughter made my day a few months ago when, she's, as I say, she's 13 now. In class, they were asked to speak on somebody that inspired them, you know, and she chose me.
Oh
And
my
I couldn't
goodness.
believe it. When my daughter told me, I couldn't believe it.
What did
And
she
she said,
say?
she stood in front of the class and she said, my nanny, I'm nanny to them, my nanny
Mhm.
inspires me because she tells me to be who I am, not to take notice of negativity, and to just do what I want to do and be who I am.
Oh my
And
god, Jan,
and
that is
and that it's a
amazing.
and she said, and that it's a good thing to be different because that's what I say. That's what I say to them because I think it's really important, to
Most beautiful thing I've heard. Do
yeah,
you
it
know
made my
who I
day.
picked?
It
Just
really did.
imagine.
Yeah, it really made
Uh,
my day that, she
Jan,
would
when I was
do
a
that.
child, I picked as an inspiration,
Say that
Michael
again.
Jordan.
Oh, right.
How ridiculous is that?
Ah,
My mom was like, "What in the world?"
ah.
And knowing
Right,
what
I
I
have
know
to
now, if I was there, I would have been like, "Get this girl some help. She's off track. Doesn't know."
Yeah, but I
But
mean, to be
that's
honest, when I was that age, I'd have probably chosen a footballer
oh my god. But no,
or
but that's
Michael
just
Jackson,
amazing.
so
But how much further is your granddaughter in her life to have someone like you as her role model at her age than you know what I mean? Like, it's just so funny to think about because, like,
but
that's what's important.
yeah, but the thing is, what I really appreciated is that she sees me, as I really am. She sees me on my bad days. She's seen me
Right.
when I've been upset. She's seen me when I've acted like an idiot. She's
That's
seen
what I'm saying. That's
she
what's important for a
knows
child to
me.
see. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she knows how to that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying if you I'll try to find a link, I'll send you on Twitter or something of the doctor I'm talking about, how like being able to let your children or like allow your children to process their emotions fully, that's so important. Like to not have them think that
Mm,
they need to be, you know what I mean? Like just for her
a
to
certain
feel
way.
comfortable expressing herself. That's all it
Mhm.
takes.
Oh, I mean, she's just a part of me, she really is a part of me.
Are
Um,
you a troll, Jen?
am I a troll? No,
Yeah,
someone said I'm killing their troll vibes.
I'm killing my Sasha's a troll. Oh, okay, yeah, Sasha's a troll.
Listen,
Oh,
Sasha,
warming
you
your little
can't.
troll heart, Sasha.
The thing is, the best thing I like about going live is I can be myself. And, the thing
Right.
with me is I do have different, lots of different sides to me. That's what makes me unique, I suppose. But none of them are nasty. I can sort of I can argue with people, especially something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
learning how to argue better. Like I'm learning to whisper when I argue because you get so passionate, right? You wanna like yell.
Oh, I'm
And
terrible. The
it's,
problem with me is if I get too passionate about something, and I think it's probably because of my age and, my life, the things I've done in life. I was a teacher for, like, 8 years, so I'm bound to have a certain tone, in my voice sometimes, and, if I argue with somebody, that side of me comes out sometimes, and they look at it as like, "Oh, look at her, talking down to somebody else, and she's doing it," from I can't think of the word. Um,
right.
it's
I
not that
get what
rea
you're saying,
it's
but
not
for
that
me,
at
I just
all.
take it from being like a black woman. I feel like you're getting on my last nerve. Like like when when I get in that moment, like, it's like I'm trying to explain something, I feel like you're not hearing it. It's like I can feel the suffering, the pain of my ancestors. It's like,
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel that every time I think about blackface. I can't help it. That just, it's like a red flag to a ball for me. I'm just
mm,
like, right. Yeah, so anyway, we won't talk about that. But
you're right.
I want to address the eyebrows. Oh my God. What is she doing? Oh my God. I couldn't
Oh, I
believe
don't
them.
know.
Have you
Now
seen
I
them,
wanna look it
Edna?
up. No. Do you wanna pull
Oh,
it up for us?
oh my God. You know, we've still got the other part of my chat and we've been talking for 2 hours.
Oh, we sure ha you know what, I'm sorry.
Right, hang
This has
on.
been so nice, Jan. I'm gonna let you guys go.
We
I could
should do
talk
this
all
more
day and
often.
night.
We should
Yeah.
definitely do this more often. But I tell you what, what's Sasha saying there? What you think she's drawn them on? Oh no, you said that. That's a terrible. I honestly, please, Edna, when you
What?
go after this, please go and look at one of her latest offerings and look at the eyebrows.
You know
Honestly,
what? I'm trying to be a good person. I'm
you are a
I'm
good
not gonna go laugh
person.
at that lady's eyebrows because I don't have the best
Listen,
eyebrows myself. I'm working on loving myself as I am. You know, makeup, we have such a distorted view of what makeup is supposed to do. You know, it's like it's not gonna airbrush us, or it's not, you know what I mean? Like we're human beings, we have texture, we have hair.
yeah, but I like makeup. I must admit, I
Mhm.
do
I
like
do
makeup.
too.
And when I'm like, when I used to do like my chat shows and that, I would put my
Mhm.
makeup on and quite like it, quite like seeing myself. Now I'm like, oh, I can't be asked when I'm doing my short ones. I'm like,
It's
take me
changed.
as I am.
Yeah.
So that's the way I am. So I'm going to finish on that. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
we've, we've still got about 8 minutes left. So bear with. Okay.
Oh,
Stay
okay, to
here,
make it a
Edna.
even half hour? Okay.
Stay here. Okay. Right, hang on. Let's see
Okay.
if I can do
Oh
this
my
right.
goodness.
Look at me looking so attractive. Okay. You can say whatever you want to say about this. I don't care because
Okay.
I don't take myself seriously. But anyway, it's quite fun. It's quite a fun chat. So
Yes,
as
I'm
we're
so
here,
sorry. I completely forgot about the video. Yes. Whoops.
yeah, that's all right. Oh, we got to do this again, Edna. This was so much fun.
Okay.
I loved it. Old. Um, and we have one moderator. That's it. One. Why am I? Look, I'm just trying to emphasize the point. One moderator, but then we are all members. That could have something to do with it. Look at the state of me. Anyway, so today we went for a walk in LA to look for the airport, and then we found
I like
it,
your
which
glasses.
was
They're so
good.
bold.
But the point, what was the story I was getting to? Can't
Oh,
remember. Let's have
multicolored
a
ones.
sip of me tea. Mm, mm,
Oh, I love tea. I need to
that's rather
make some
nice.
more.
Um, yeah. So last night, I think
I
he
love
did
rambling.
9 hours last night, and I was there for most of it.
Stream of consciousness.
So, and I did do a little bit of work later on, um, but I was going to say something that's completely gone. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, he's flying back tonight. I think he gets into Heathrow about midday. Well, we're due a bit of wind, guys, in Heathrow. So he said that if it is really windy when he lands, he's going to set up his cameras and we're going to watch the wind again. Now, let me tell you, his channel went viral. One of his videos went viral in Storm Eunice.
Thanks, darling.
And because I think we had about 12,000 in the chat, it may have even had more. Yeah. Anyway, and he's got 7 million views on there. So it did literally went viral. Anyway,
Head roll.
let me get to this bit. Anyway, so he was going. So he said, oh, by the way, pop over to see Aviation. I don't want to say the name of it. Anyway, I went over. The first thing got my goat was that you had to join. No, not join. You had to subscribe to even talk. Well, that annoys me. Oh, I've forgotten to unsubscribe. I'll do that. I'll do that in a minute. Anyway, so so I went in
What is
there,
that?
subscribed, had to wait 20 minutes before I could talk. Now, while I'm waiting for
What
my
did
20 minutes, I can see some of the old sort of Big Jet TV people in there. So I thought, oh, that's good. I can go in and just sort of have a chin wag with them. And anyway, they spoke to Jerry because, Jerry sort of came on camera and said, "Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks for all your help. Since I've been over
was
here in
Jerry?
LA, it was really great, blah, de, blah, de, blah." And then he said something like, and I've forgotten what it was. Oh, yeah, he said
You're
something like,
cutting
"Oh, the
that and
weather's
all
not
that.
great." That, the weather was crap for him, to be honest. There was lots of mist coming over the sea. So, yeah, it was
Let's
a
miss
little
on that
bit.
though.
But anyway, we didn't mind. We still had fun. Anyway, so he's saying this to the Germans. They weren't German; they were American. Anyway, so he's saying this to them. When he's gone and they've gone like, "Bye, thanks, Jerry, safe journey home." They've then turned round and said, one of them in particular, he went, "What's he meant?" Oh yeah, because Jerry said, "But, never mind, like with the weather, we quite like to sort of mix up the content a bit anyway. My members, my subs, we like to sort of mix it up. So they're fine. They all stay with me and whatever." Anyway, so after he's gone, the guy has tried to sort of turn it around and said something like, "Well, we mix up our content, don't we?" He's saying there's two presenters on that one. "We mix up our content, don't we?" And I'm like, "What, you having a go at what?" And then he was saying, "Oh, well, I don't know if he was like, do you think he was being a bit funny?" And the other one's like, "No, I don't think he was being a bit funny. Do you think we mix up our content on there?" "Yeah. So why do you think he said that?" "I don't really know. I'm sure he wasn't being funny. Do you think he was being funny?" I was like, "What? What?" Anyway, so by the time I get to speak on there, I'm a bit wound up, guys. I'll be honest with you. I even sent a super chat. See, it's all right. You had to like um subscribe to talk, but it took your money whether you subscribed or not. Yeah, all
Hmm.
right. Anyway, so I sent a super chat because I was so impatient and I just put something like Jerry is very ground roots, shares. Oh yeah, I said Jerry shares his passion, something like that. Because it really wound me up because the difference is Jerry is very ground roots aviation. We don't need all the bells, and I've said this already. This American channel. It's all bells and whistles. Every so often, something appears on the screen with the guy thinks he's on the radio. It's like,
Oh,
what?
okay. I see what you're
I'm just
saying.
here to watch the aeroplanes. It's like if
Right.
you're really keen on something, if you've got like a passion for something, you're not interested in like people throwing money. They've got this super chats on. Do you want to go out? They've got their super chat thing going all the time. They've got bells and whistles and bloody American this and that. I was like, I can't bear this. Anyway, so I was sort of saying a bit in the chat, and a couple of the Brits could see what I was saying, but a bit more. They're a bit more democratic. What? What's the word? And you're like, anyway, they're a bit more like that to me than me. Demographic, that wind's coming already. Jerry's going to get here in 5 hours, I tell you.
Politically correct. Right?
That's really going to annoy me now that I can't remember that blooming
Are
word.
you
Isn't
trying
that
to say like they're more
annoying?
PC, they're
Anyway,
more politically
um,
correct?
Yeah.
not Democrat, anyway, there's that. I think I was trying to think of the word democratic. Yeah. The thing is, once I got it in my brain, I couldn't get it out.
What's the other word? It's like a bureaucracy, bureaucratic. Is that what you were thinking of?
No, that's different, isn't it?
It
Bureaucratic's
is.
different.
Yeah.
No,
It's
if you're democratic, you're oh, hang on. Let me Google this.
like
Just
political.
this is annoying. Right, what's it
I
right.
know.
And
That's funny.
I know
You
I
can go
didn't
ahead
get
and
the
play
right
it.
word. I still didn't
Yeah,
get the
you
right
can go ahead.
word. Hang on. Right.
Just press play.
What is democratic? All right. Yeah. I couldn't even say it to Google, sorry. Um, and in the end, I couldn't bear it. I mean, I did say a few things. I was told off once by one of the mods. If you don't like it, Jan, you don't have to be here. I thought, well, I'm only saying, you know. And the thing was, oh, and then one of the people in there who is he is actually a mod in Jerry's. He did say the thing is, Jerry gave your channel a shout out, so some of us have come over, and we haven't come over to hear you slagging off Jerry, basically. So I thought, yes, I'm not the only one that thinks it, guys. So yeah, that was me in trouble again. Always in trouble. I don't know why. Oh. Demo not demographic, democratic. Oh my god, that would have worried me all night long. I'd have had to put another video up just to tell you what the real word was, because I like my words, guys, and I don't like it when I forget one.
Words
Anyway,
mean things. They're so important.
democratic. I'm not democratic. Not really. Is that the right word? Yeah, anyway, I'm not. So yeah, so in the end, I thought I can't bear it anymore. I'm gonna have to go, and that was it. They were only answering people who sent super chats, and I thought I don't like that. I don't like it. Everybody should be as equal as everybody else. And
Yeah.
then someone was saying, "Oh, that's because they can't read the." And I thought, "Oh, pay off." That's not. You're just bloody greedy. Anyway, so God, I've been talking for 16 minutes. Sorry. It's meant to be a short, but I'll just do a short. Anyway, so
It's like a
that
3 hour
was
long
my
short.
Sunday, and it's now, what time is it? Uh, what? What, Edna?
Oh, I said this is about to be a 3 hour long short.
No, it's nearly finished. It's nearly finished. Bear with. I've got you hostage now. You just got to wait till the end of it. It's nearly finished. Don't be impatient. Oh, it's nearly midnight. Just done a little bit of designing. Um, oh God, I haven't even been bothered to go in the riff raff communities this weekend, and it's been actually quite delightful. Yesterday we had a new Japanese restaurant open here, and
Oh,
so myself, my daughter, and my granddaughter, we went. That was very nice. And the day before, oh, I know, I went to the pet shop with my son and his girlfriend and bought a couple more fish. That's it. That's my, and then the rest of the time has all been Big Jack TV because I love it. I love my aviation. Anyway, okay, I think I'd better go. Sorry. Crap at this, aren't I? I am. I'm just rubbish. Anyway, so I'm going to see you very soon. I might put up a couple of shorts. Right, this is the long goodbye, but it is coming, I promise.
okay.
Later in the week. I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, that's it, guys. You take care of yourselves out there. What a rotten old world. And haven't you had enough of this weather? I've got a couple of snowdrops coming out the front in the front garden, and I'm yeah, yeah. And then I'm like, oh my god, it's so blooming cold. I've decided I'm going to redesign my garden. But I need a
Ooh.
man to come and dig me some holes. Anyway, with that, gonna wish you a happy week, peaceful week, full of love and laughter. And I'll see you in the next time I decide to put my ugly mush out on this. But I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't. Anyway, um, hope you're all well, and I'll see you. How many times? I'm like those people on the phone, aren't I? All right, yeah, bye then, bye. Yeah, 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 bye, bye, bye. I'm gone. All right, yeah, love you. Bye.
Oh, oh my goodness, that's so
Oh
cute,
my
Jan.
God, I'm so sorry. Right, can I
I
go
love
now?
it.
Can I go now? It's 3:30 in the morning. You're just lucky
Oh
that I'm a
no, I'm so
creative.
sorry.
Because no, I'm always up at this time because I'm a creative. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming in. You were all absolutely lovely, and especially you, Edna.
Thank
Yay!
you.
Listen, you're
Thank you,
welcome.
everyone.
What do you think? Shall I do these short videos and then do it on a live like I did now? Because it's
Yeah,
quite good
I
fun.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, did you like that? And then we can
Hmm.
put the world to rights again because it needs to be righted, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness.
It definitely
Well,
needs to be righted.
but you know what? It's always balance, right? Because I have
Mm,
to say, Timber had to check me. There was a situation. I won't go into details because it's not all my business to share. But it was seriously something where she was like, "Listen, Edna, that wasn't okay." You know what I mean? And I had to take that and kind of sit
mm,
with that to say, you know what? She's right. I need to
yeah,
learn. Like I didn't handle that situation the greatest. And and that doesn't mean for me that just means that going forward, I use that information that I gathered in that interaction to act differently.
yeah,
You live and you learn.
yeah. And as I said, sort of about 3 hours ago, I like that about you. I like that you're willing to learn. Um,
Yeah.
and I am also. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, we get on all right, don't we, you and me, Edna?
Yeah, I told you when you were trying to beef with me on Monty's panel. I was like, Jen, I love you. What's going on here?
When
I'm
was I
just kidding with
beefing on
you.
you?
I'm just
When?
playing. We were
Listen,
talking on
before I go, I just want
mhm.
your opinion on. Did you see what I put underneath Monty's video today? I know I
Oh
wasn't
no.
going to talk about. Hang on, how do I do this now?
Which video?
Under his new one where he's going after Yo Mama. Hang on a minute, let me see if I
Okay.
can get it up.
Whoa. Yo mama and or I guess Minty now. We're not even dealing with Monty, yo mama.
Oh, I don't know. Right,
Hold on.
hang on. I'm just gonna read what I put on there, okay? And then I'm gonna let you go. You poor thing. You must be fed up.
Okay.
Fed up with this.
This has been so wonderful. It takes me so long to kind of decompress, and kind of like unpack from the day. And it's so hard when you work from home because there's no change in environment. Like I'm sitting in the same
Yeah,
spot that I was working in, so you know what I mean? It's hard to switch work gears. So this has been nice. So don't
yeah.
apologize. I've loved it.
Oh, good, good. Um, well, I'm not gonna stick to a date, but I think
Okay.
Sunday's quite good for me actually. So if I can get another, short out, then because that's quite nice to sort of refer to as well as we go along. Anyway, so Monty
Oh, okay,
Mon
great. You have it pulled up.
Monty put up the video,
Hmm.
about Yo Kaka. and I do understand his anger. I do.
Oh, okay, yeah, so I saw
So,
that, go ahead.
yeah, so underneath it, I put, "Whoa, not gonna interject myself into this situation, but you do realise that Yo Mama is just pushing your buttons, right? Why play his game? You are both completely different men who share totally different content. Again, once again, why play his game? You won't win because it is his game. Being slandered and mocked is painful, I understand that, and the compulsion to fight back is huge. But why waste your talents on compiling gotcha videos when all they do is pass the ball back to them? Stay in your jaunty lane, Monty, because at the end of the day, this corner of the internet thrives on other people's weaknesses, hardships, emotional upsets, and public displays of anger and intentions to seek revenge. I've been there, sweetie. Always remember there are more ways to skin a cat. Bad analogy, I know, but it's been a busy weekend. So, what do you think about that?
Jan, listen, how do we feel? You know what? I am I need to use the restroom, but I am willing to go line by line with you. So if you guys don't mind giving me about 2, 3 minutes, I'll come back and we can talk about it.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, that's
Okay, I'll be
fine.
right back.
Yeah, okay, I'll just stick this on for the people who want to stay and listen to what we've got to say about this. Okay, so I'm back in the room, and while we wait for Edna, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Okay, Grateful Life says that's good advice. Do you know it's so difficult? Is it difficult to not pick sides? Um, I really try not to pick sides, but having said that, if I like somebody, then I'll tell them I like them. And I've told Monty I liked him, and I've also told the other one, what's his name, Yo Mama, I liked him. Um, Now the issues I have is that it's not really an issue. I think in this community, if you show an allegiance, if you like, that's a big word, I know. It's not really an allegiance, but if you show that you like somebody, people automatically put you in that camp. Um, so when you're seen to like both of the people involved in the situation, people will turn around and call you a snake or say, "Oh yeah, she was in so and so's chat the other night," and blah blah blah. They're very quick because they're so filled with negativity. They're very quick to um, throw stones at people. Now,
Hey, hello.
hi, she's
Hey,
back.
hey,
Okay,
yes,
my
okay,
darling.
thank you.
Let's get on with this then. Right,
Did
nobody's
you
really.
bring the comment back up?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. Can you read it from there? I don't know if I can get it any bigger. Let's see if I can get it any bigger.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Can you read that?
I think I can. Okay, so It's a
Right, so
chat,
shall I
okay.
read it again?
Do you realize your mama is just pushing your buttons? Okay. So
Yeah,
the thing is, I get what you're saying with it being his game, but I think I mean, his game is the game. So if Monty's playing, it's like like he, I feel like like if he's gonna play, he has to engage some way. And if this isn't like the best way, this might not necessarily be the best way for him to, interact with your mama, but but I don't think it's wrong. No.
yeah,
Or not wrong, but like for him not to play, like why is he playing? Because life is a game. Like we want to have fun, like not to get too spiritual, whatever. And YouTube should be fun. And it seemed like Monty was genuinely excited or, like interested in having your mama be on the scene. And I know it was disappointing for me to see how your mama came in without doing any research. I mean, I guess we both have a respect and for like education, for knowledge that we don't get from your mama. We all see that, right?
yeah,
And we see Monty has that with the way he Googles information before he just tells us before he when he reads the comments. It's the person's comments that he's highlighting. He's not saying, "Oh, I'm saying this for fact," without going and verifying it on the person's page or whatever. Your mama does none of that. And I think, Monty being disappointed in your mama for not having that same standard. I mean, that he's not writing that because, Monty can't set the standard, but also for him to kind of say your mama like listen, like he let a lot go. And
yeah,
I don't really watch your mama like that because I really can't stand that laugh.
no,
And from what I've seen, I was like, wow, like Monty let a lot roll off his back. So when he let the sentence enhancers fly, and when he goes like full Monty or Minty mode, I can't say too much. It's like the Megan situation where it's you do you. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I guess, looking at what I wrote, it could be considered that I was trying to sort of, play peacemaker. That's not really what I was doing. I was just trying to sort of, remind him because I think, he's intelligent enough to know, Monty is intelligent
Oh,
enough
that's the other thing. It's
that this
like
is a game.
people think, yeah, it's like what does intelligence mean though? It's like
I think intelligence in this situation is
because
knowing
we're talking about
what
mental health. These aren't like intellectual disabilities. You see what I'm saying? Like it because for you to say like because it almost seems like oh like he's above this. Like these people are too talented to whatever. Because I see people who I'm like this person is so talented. If they had this whatever resources, they could be doing who knows what, right? Because I see it
Mhm.
in myself. I see it in so many people. And the thing is, it's like who am I to say that this isn't important work for Mom to be doing on the internet with your mama? Because, like it or not, your mama has influence.
Mm. Yeah, but I think the point I was trying to make here, and in saying that this was his game, is because that's the way Mama has chosen to play the internet game at the moment. And he, for whatever reason, is focusing in on Monty, and I feel it's not that I feel that Monty is above Yo Mama in that way. It's that I feel that they're just playing two completely different games. And from what I've seen from Monty, that isn't really his game. So that's what I meant by why play his game? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like
Yeah,
if
because it's
Monty
like you think he should be taking the high road or you know what I mean? Like how else would he address him? He wouldn't?
um that's a good point. But I think it's almost like you've got like the world champion of breaststroke, right?
Mhm.
Arguing, fighting with the world champion of backstroke. Okay. Now, what are they going to, how are they going to compete to be the best when they're both doing different things? Do you see what I mean? Do you see where I'm coming from there? And I think the point is, and I tried to, not to
Jan,
imply that
yes,
I
I
think
see
one
what
is
you're
better
saying,
than the
but I
other.
think but I think what it is that people don't see it that way. I
Yeah.
think most people think they're playing the same game.
I don't think they are though. I because I see Monty's channel so much differently to the way I look at Yo Mama's. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't
I
always
mean, you're not the
agree.
only one. I understand what you're saying. I just, and I'm not saying like I agree or disagree. That's not how I approach this at all. So I really
Mhm.
don't have a stance from that regard. It's just that I just think most people don't see it as, I think they see them as playing the same game and they just think that they're playing it at whatever skill level that they're playing, but they don't see them as playing different games.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't really looked at it that way. But I will say I do feel, if we want to use the word manipulator, I do feel that
Mm.
in this situation that
Mhm.
that Yo Mama is very good at manipulating other creators to the point where they get angry, they show their anger, which for me um, is just making it easier for him to bounce back. You know, I just feel if Monty could have
I
dealt with
think
it in a different
I
way,
mhm.
rather than um just playing the same game. It's like if we go back to the swimmer analogy, so they
Mhm.
both get in the pool and the backstroker's winning. Okay.
Mhm.
So what does the guy who's doing the breaststroke do? Does he carry on doing the breaststroke knowing that he's the world champion? Or does he flip himself over and do the backstroke just so that he's doing the same stroke as the other guy?
It depends. What's the objective? Is the goal to win? Is the goal to present the backstroke? Is the goal to present the other stroke? You
Well, the
see what I'm
goal
saying?
is to try and be the world champion of both of the strokes, but that isn't
That's
really
not
possible.
happening. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
That's not
and
going to
actually
happen.
that's not possible and that's not like really an option. You know what I mean? Like I don't think because the thing is your mama is not winning, right? And it
Well,
seems
he
like
is if he gets someone like Monty to respond in the same way that he's responding, then that's a
only if
win for him.
Monty only if Monty loses his power. Only if he gives up his his control or like he loses control of himself in it. Now, it at this point, I feel like okay, he's responded. He came in. He's done a great job of highlighting your mama. You know what I mean? Like of doing
Yeah,
what needs to be done.
yeah.
Now, going forward, I feel like let's roll it back a little bit. Like your mama hasn't said anything. Give him space, give him time to retort. Because if you just keep going, if you keep going too hard, it's too much, and then for whatever reason, people don't care because it's take that where you will, you know. But
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, him saying something at this stage, I was I was not happy about the way your mama came at the gamer that was a stud.
Mhm.
Like I felt some kind of way about that. And that's because of when I was, you know, on panel talking to Miami, I remember her, you know, saying something feel, you know, like I remember there being some energy around her and and your mama. You know what I mean? And it's like and she just didn't want to even deal with it. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But Monty is a you know what I mean? Like I feel like why Monty can't deal with it. You know what I mean? People talk about Monty holding water. Like this would be an appropriate, you know, like socially or whatever. He's another black male. He can say something and address your mama in a way that your mama, the way he's going against, you know, Mexican people, you know, because if a Mexican person come against him, then it's like, oh, then it's racist because you're saying something against a black person, right? And the way he's talking about LGBT people, you know what I mean, with the stud, like if
Yeah.
Miami said something, you know, but Monty being another black man, being, you know, respected in the community who, you know, many people, you know, use Monty as a launching pad, you know, if we being honest about it and all that, you know, we ain't have to say
Mhm.
that. We know what it is, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like Monty has full reign to say something about this. And I'm glad that he did.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I can't disagree with anything you've said there. Um, I can only go by
Okay.
what I saw and what my conclusions were to it, and I found it
Right.
really uncomfortable, and I just thought, you know, don't I just thought I mean, I don't know Monty that closely. I don't
Are
agree with
uncomfortable
everything he
topics.
does. I don't
Yeah.
agree
We're
with
talking about
everything he
trans issues, we're talking
says.
about mental health, these are
Yeah,
complicated, these are sticky topics, religion and politics and whatever, you
yeah,
know, so I get it, yeah.
mhm,
Okay, so what was the next thing? Let's see. So you both are completely different men. Okay, and then let's see. The more
um,
painful.
I put
Oh,
being
okay. So talking about the pain, so I think I could summarize everything else because you were like, I've been there, kind of what you shared and
yeah.
what I know of Monty Scandal. Now I kind of came in after all the scandal was unfolding and everything. And I'm really like a woman's woman, kind of like, you know, I'm feminist and all that. And I did not get these vibes that Monty was, you know, a player and all that kind of stuff from
Do
what
you
I
know,
saw being in
I
chat.
don't know, I'm like you, I don't know anything about what Monty has supposed to have done. I've got a vague idea. Some people say he's a player. Some people say, he does this, he preys on women and all the rest of it. But I've not been a witness to any of that. I just see there's only
Or
one
deep.
thing that I really have
Mhm,
issue with Monty over, and it's
mhm.
not to the point that I would argue with him about it. It's just my belief. And that is, I don't like the way he always talks about Pete. That's the only thing. But as far as the women thing is concerned,
Wait, what is it about
I've
Pete
not
that you
seen it.
don't like?
Well, I don't because it's like I said, I can't help but feel that it's not all his
Oh, because
own.
of his depression. Oh, I
Yeah,
get you. Yeah.
yeah, and I just think
Well,
it's not
that goes
good.
into some things. I have some theories, Jan, but I can't share that now because that's
We're
there.
gonna have to save them till another night. Let's save them until
Yeah.
another night.
Yeah, well, that's just I feel like that's where it's like it's too much to share in general, but I
Yeah,
understand what you're saying, but that's interesting. Okay. Let me see here.
yeah, but I think that's probably more an
Wait,
issue
not
with
to
me.
buy video pass it back to them. The weakness harsher. Oh, and then so when it comes to the scandal and all that, so my whole point into going in that and then the way you're like I've been there kind of relating on that level. Now, I
Mhm.
have no experience. as a non-creator, you know what I mean? In that
Yeah.
regard, someone who hasn't dealt with like online bullying or whatever. So but the thing is, it's like I could imagine like how painful, how hurtful that is to be the sort, you know what I mean? Like I get that. And Monty didn't fold. You know, from what I saw, like, yeah, I saw some videos that he put out that, like it was some questionable information. Like if you go line by line, like I don't agree with everything. But when you talk about how people have been attacked and they left and all that kind of stuff and take long breaks and come back in different names, things like that, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Which bit are you referring to about what I said, though?
I'm gonna just summarize. I didn't
Yeah, you're just
I didn't
summarizing
know if you
it.
were I didn't know if you were trying to wrap me up or not, but, I don't know if I did too much summarizing. Um,
No, and I do agree. Right, Grateful Life has said all that mess is what made me walk away. But up until then, I was very comfortable at Monty's and I appreciated his view. I feel the same. I was like attracted to Monty's live streams mainly because of his cadence and his community seemed like nice people. Some of them have come over to me now, which is lovely. And it was just nice not to feel as if I was in a negative space. And as I say, we're
about
not
hearts in
always
the
gonna.
chat. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a very that's what I mean by hearts in the chat. Like I
Yeah.
started a failed Discord, but it was basically just trying to like I it's like an energy that's in the chat that happens sometimes when people
Yeah.
it just you can just feel like a connection, like it's welcoming and people support each other and it's just a fun time. Like you're like we could just talk about something silly or ridiculous or something super inappropriate even. And it's just hilarious. Like you would never in your life be like, I am talking to random strangers on the internet about whatever random thing Monty's telling us about on what is it? Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
But it's funny and it's silly and it's a good time. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's how you do build a community, and that's why I made a conscious decision before you know this all sort of happened. I made a conscious decision after being doxxed a couple of years ago to try not to bring the negativity to my channel. But because of some of the creators I was watching, I was seeing things that I wasn't comfortable with, and I couldn't help but speak up about them on my channel because they're very, I'm very passionate about things,
Ye yes,
like
and that's
that,
another thing that gets me into, like, Monty saying something is that he I know he wants to be, like, neutral or, like, PC or what have you, you know what I mean? Like, not get into the drama of it,
Mhm.
but it's impossible when this is it, it's drama.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Uh,
like, and that's why I feel like, instead of saying, no, zero drama, whatever, because drama is a part of life, maybe we should learn how to like deal with it in healthier ways.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's,
true, and,
yeah,
what I've decided to do, I mean, I used to do, like, a, live stream called Sweet Talk, and we didn't talk about, drama because, and we got some really good guests on there as well, um because I don't want my channel to be full of people that enjoy the drama. I don't mind if you get a section of people that like the drama because,
right.
I'm quite happy to talk about it for a while, but I don't want my channel built on it, you know?
To be honest, that's
Um,
what happened with the Discord, where at the end of the day, if you have to have a leader, you have to, you can, like that's the thing with this community, right? Chantal's the leader of the community. People want to say it's not the Chantopolis or whatever. Everybody's talking about Foodie. It's her world, right? We're all talking about
Mhm.
her and extensions of her. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But she's a mess. And
Mm.
that's why the community's a mess.
Yeah.
So why would I start something in this community? You know what I mean? That's me. Where unless what are my goals? Like my goal is to I don't that's what I'm figuring out. And
Yeah.
as I'm
Are
figuring
you
it out, yeah, go ahead.
are you planning to are you planning to start a channel? Would you
Yes,
like
but with
to?
taxes. Yes, but with
Yeah.
taxes. So I'm going to be like maybe summarizing the IRS bulletins or like reading the publications. So for you in England, this isn't exciting, but everybody in America is going to be ecstatic to hear about 1040s and W2s.
Oh,
Grateful
as
Life,
long
where are you? Sasha? No, I'm just joking. Everybody hates taxes. It's so boring.
so you're gonna be targeting a completely different audience then?
Like, I'm really doing taxes, but I'm like, for someone like me who's a tax professional, like I need to hear this stuff. So it's like a way for me to do the work that I need to do to prepare for my work. And then like the people that I work with will enjoy it. But then for regular people, I think it would be not regular people, sorry, but for people who aren't like tax people, I think it would be kind of funny because tax language is boring. Like to hear somebody just read the tax law or something.
Yeah, I can't do
It's like
no way.
what's so funny?
I don't do numbers.
Army of accountants. I would love it. I was so excited when FFG was talking about becoming an accountant. I was like, I almost want to DM her and be like, girl, I found out. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, are you gonna be doing this accountancy thing and sort of slotting in slotting in the drama communities as well? Or girl world?
I'm thinking about it because I was actually talking to a coworker. You know how, I'm learning how to talk to people and like how to connect to people, right? Like I'm realizing when I'm connecting to people on
Yeah.
different levels. So I was connecting with a coworker and I was like, listen, she gets it. So I mentioned Girl World and she's not into Girl World, but she's into some drama community or equivalent on TikTok. So that's what I'm saying. Like the people are out here. So I mean, I don't think I'm going to talk about girl world with like work, with taxes, and like my real name and stuff. No way. Because that's asking for trouble. But I don't know. It's interesting.
It is interesting. Why not? I mean, when you're
Hmm.
ready, go for it, but
Grateful grateful
have it
like
all set
oh
out.
sorry. I'm sorry, Jen. Go ahead.
I said go for it, but have it set out. Maybe have, different playlists.
Oh, I'm gonna have a totally different account. So I'm not
Yeah.
using Edna Online. I'm having a different name and everything. So, like, and that's the thing where I'm like, oh, I might just like DM, people that I would want to know about it. But
Yeah.
it's not something I would like advertise, I don't think, because it's a fine balance, right?
Yeah. Mind you,
Because
I
it
mean,
depends on how much I want to do.
I'm just wondering how you're going to mix the two together, I must say. I'm
And
finding
that's
that
what's
quite
so funny,
interesting.
right? I'm talking to my coworker. He doesn't know it yet, but he's into music. He's so funny. He has like he's like he's in New York and he has a New York accent and it's just so like I just love his I don't know, like I just imagine like having people having like fun human kind of just personalities into the mundane. Like something like taxes where I don't know, like, I'm a bit of a nut, like, you say you're crazy, whatever, like, anybody who knows me knows I'm a nut.
I have my crazy moments, but I'm going now
Yeah.
because I'm getting
Okay.
tired.
Uh,
Good luck. Yeah, I will do new shorts. I don't know why we went on for so long this time. It won't happen
No.
again. Okay. But I quite liked the idea of playing a short. And then I didn't know that Edna wanted to come up, but I'm really pleased that she did. But
I don't
I
even
think
remember what you said,
this is
but
quite
you
sweet.
said
What?
something I couldn't. I was just like, "Please, I can't type anymore," but I have to say something because it needs to be said.
Good, and I'm glad. I'm so glad you
Yeah.
did come up. Maybe we've
So
been
thank
going on
you,
for too
Jan.
long. 3 hours, Edna, for goodness
Yes,
sake,
I'm
woman.
muted. Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Okay, darling. I'll see you very soon. Take care of yourself, sweetheart. Bye-bye. And bye-bye to everybody else. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gone. I'm out of here.